This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Taco Bell. It's currently 43 in Seattle. You're going to see highs in the upper 40s and low 50s today. It's going to remain windy and wet for most of the day and into the evening. These rumors about the Illuminati might be true. Taco Bell's new $1 breakfast stacker is way more delicious than dollar food should be. 3 layers of eggs and cheese wrapped in a warm tortilla for only $1? How? Try the $1 breakfast stacker for yourself today. Now to Danny and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
How are you?
Oh, it's a little wet out there, but I'm doing okay.
It is pouring.
Yeah.
It is terrible out.
Little
I had a
nuts.
dream that, because I had a big and expensive problem with window leakage.
You
I have
did?
I have a problem with my house. The guy that came over from, what is it called, Queen Anne Glass or some such thing, came over to do the new windows, and he said, your house has rot
That stinks.
all
man.
over it. And I said,
Oh, no.
yeah. And he said, well, this built around 2010. Whatever it was, he had the right year. I said, yeah, it was. And he
Your
said,
house was built in 2010?
no, my house was actually built in 2004.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
just said that because I was wrong. He said a lot of people use this. Whole houses are built out of it. And I couldn't see what he was talking to because across the street from me is the Dream House, a house worth 4 times what mine is. And he said, that house is covered with this equipment. I said, I don't know what that means exactly. And then he pointed to the rot on my front stairs and windowsills. And I went, okay, this is going to be really expensive. But I have insurance, and that's what insurance is for.
So something people used at that time is now rotting all over Queen Anne? Is
Yeah,
what
and it was real popular. Not just Queen Anne; it was super popular. It's been permitted by whoever permits you to
Huh.
use building
That
materials.
stinks.
So
but you
the
don't
reason
lose
you
your
make
power.
I'm sorry,
But you didn't lose your power.
I did not lose my power.
Well, that's good.
Do you mean what kind of powers?
Your superpowers, of
Because
course.
Yeah,
I
you're still
read your
invisible,
mind,
right?
if that's what you're talking about. So the reason I sang you a little Herman's Hermits this morning, this is the band that during the entire British invasion pushed their accents. When you hear the Beatles, you can't tell they're from anywhere. They could be from Jersey,
Yeah.
for all you know. But Herman's Hermits, I'm Henry the Eighth I am. Do you remember
Right.
that song?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of fun songs. Second verse, same as the first. Woo. So the reason I sing you a little ditty from Herman's Hermits, I'm thinking about becoming a hermit.
Oh.
I don't think I can really truly do it because I enjoy fancy lunches too much.
Yeah.
The kind
Yeah.
you can't make at home, kind where people serve you. I always say and call you Mister. They serve you and they wear white jackets and call you Mister. I actually don't want to go to any place that wears white jackets and call you Mister. But I want that idea. Oh, you want good service. You want it to be a
Yeah.
thing that you're eating lunch. So I got to give a little speech in Los Angeles this weekend, and Amy was out shopping in Bellevue the other day and said, "Let me pick you up some slacks." Now there's the thing that lets you know, oh, you're growing old. People buy you slacks. not
Did
pants.
she use that word?
Yeah, she did. And
Not trousers.
Yeah, not trousers.
Then you're
slacks.
really
Pants.
old, right? If she gets you some trousers.
If she gets you diapers, you're probably very old or very
Yeah.
young. It really doesn't really matter. So I told her what size to get. She got it. It was the wrong size. It was all me. My bad. So I said the speech is on Saturday. I got to do something about this right now. And I said, here's what we're gonna do. I had a busy day already. Up at 4, made some Lego. Are they Legos or the Egos?
Depends.
Egos, the waffles.
The waffles are Egos.
Yeah,
and
or
let
did you
go
build
of them.
something out of blocks?
What?
Did you build something out
No,
of little
no,
plastic
no.
blocks?
So they are Egos of which you let go. That's
Yes,
the
sir.
thing.
That's
let
correct,
go
yeah.
my okay. I made some Egos. Came in, did a wildly successful radio show. Went home,
Where was
picked up the
that?
wife, and went to Nordstrom's right away. Where just so much happens. God, so much happens when you decide to leave the house and become part of all of it.
Yeah.
Like, we parked very near, allegedly, where you and I parked when we went to the movies.
Okay.
5 stories down. What is it, 100 cars per story in one of those massive parks?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Yeah, they're
500
huge, yeah.
cars. I don't even know. I'm not in the store yet, and I can see this is too much for me, that this is not something I can handle. I go in. Everybody makes it real easy and nice. The lady from Nordstrom's is named Kathleen. She couldn't help me more. And although they had these boots, and I don't have any grown-up shoes to wear with my slacks. I thought, these boots are interesting. They're like Zippo, almost the Beatley boots, but the middle part was a fabric like a quilt. I mean, like a kilt. Like that
Oh.
Scottish thing. And on
Interesting.
the front was a buckle. I didn't like the buckle. It was too much, but I thought, maybe I'll remove the buckle. These are bitching. And I'm guessing, in my head, $300. why are you selling $1,700 novelty boots? And they were all
Wow.
the Vans I wear with the different colors.
Yeah.
They had them like that, except with lions painted on them. $1,500
Holy
Vans,
smokes.
$50
Jeez.
shoes with a lion painted on them. Yeah, it was crazy. And then this woman comes up and I said, I got to take these to get altered. They said, we'll do that for you. I said, yeah, I need them tomorrow. She goes, no problem. This Asian lady walks up. The reason I point out that she was Asian is because the lady says, this is Flower. Flower immediately drops down on the ground, starts measuring me. And I said, oh, is your name Flower? And the second I say it, I said, no, I'm making that up. It's weird. Oh my God, her name's not Flower. And she's going to think really weird things. Her name's Becky. And I'm going to call her Flower for no good reason. Oh my God, it's too weird. I can't be here. And her name was Flower. And everything went fine. But it just, for every choice I made, seemed so overwhelmingly weird. And then we had to go back to the car and we had to find the car. Amy took pictures of the 5D and the 5B and the lot number.
Yeah.
What does that help you unless you find it? How does that, we're all
You know what
wandering around, I'm
level
saying,
and what section?
push the lock button. It will beep. And every time we do, we'd hear a beep, and it was always somebody else's car because there's 500 cars, and somebody else was doing the same thing. And then on the way home, we decided to go to Met Market that you and I have discussed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a place. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's as if you had a supermarket you trusted and loved, like, say, QFC and stuff like that, with then these incredible bakers and chefs. I wanted some cheese. The cheese guy came out.
Oh,
His
yeah.
name's Earl. And he actually picked
I
the
love
thing.
Earl.
Do you love Earl?
Oh, I love
Earl's
Earl.
a guy. He's very proud to show you his cheese.
And he's a monger, right? A
Oh, he's a
cheese
cheese
He
monger.
is a monger. He is a monger. And I am getting the prime rib sandwich, which I've discovered and is like the greatest that we had it 3 days this week. It is so good. And as I'm getting it, a guy walks up, just looks at the lady, doesn't say anything special. He just says, prime rib dinner, please. And she made him a prime rib dinner with prime rib and mashed potatoes and gravies and cauliflower and the whole deal.
Right there in the grocery store.
Right there in the grocery store. It was amazing.
It's
And then
amazing.
I did something that I don't know, it's a cardinal sin or just shouldn't do. I felt really weird. I get up to the grocery stand, to the checkout line, and there's a lady in front of me, and she has groceries, and they're Met Market groceries, and they're awesome, and they're boss, and she has cool things and some booze, and she's making fine decisions as far as I'm concerned. And when the last thing went through, I looked at it as it went through, looked at her and went, nice. She did not respond well to me sitting there rating her groceries, because the second I did, I realized I know everything about this lady. I know if she has kids or not. I know what she's eating tonight. I know how young the kids are by what's in there, and I know how much she drinks. And I said, nice. And it was awkward, and it was weird. And now, with a major concert announcement, I give you Sarah back in the studio.
That's right. We have a brand new concert to announce this summer. The Dead and Company coming to the Gorge.
Yay!
Woo!
June 29th. That's right. The Dead and Company, The Gorge, June
Yay!
29th. We've got your chance to win tickets before you can buy them all day tomorrow. A free concert Friday with tickets to see Bob Weir, Bill Kritzman, Mickey Hart, John Mayer, and The Dead and Company at The Gorge. So all day tomorrow from KZOK. Tacoma police are investigating a deadly overnight shooting in Tacoma. Investigators say a woman called 911 about 2:30 a.m. saying two people broke into her home near 6th Avenue and Steele Street and shot her boyfriend. Police say a 24-year-old man is dead. The woman who called 911 was in the home with a 5-year-old child. They were not hurt. Investigators say they expect to have more information later on today.
I told you yesterday, and Tacoma, you failed to listen. Stop bringing your guns to the robberies. You don't need them.
Yeah.
If you need a gun at your robbery, it's now a murder. You don't need them. You don't want to defend yourself. You don't want to do anything. You want to steal the silverware and get the hell out of the house and not shoot anybody.
Evergreen Health Medical Center was on lockdown yesterday morning after a physician reported seeing a man with what appeared to be some kind of weapon. The hospital released surveillance images of the suspect and his suspected weapon. It was an object slung over his shoulder. Now, they posted this to social media, and then police arrived and began to search for this man.
It looked like a rifle.
It did.
And
it
it's sticking
did
out of
indeed.
a backpack. Yeah, slung over his shoulder.
Sticking out of a backpack.
Yeah.
So he put it back in his bag, not like
Yeah, like he was wearing a
military style.
backpack. No. It was sticking up, so like it looked like
All right.
the muzzle of the rifle was coming up out of a bag.
Well, it turns out it was not a rifle. It was an umbrella.
It was, but a weird umbrella.
It was an umbrella that had a handle made to look like the grip of a sword. So
Yeah.
they thought it looked like a weapon. And when you look at this, the surveillance images aren't super clear. But
It's
to
not
me,
a long walk for me, to be honest with you. If all of a sudden you believe something's a sword in this
It
day
looks
and
like
age,
a
then
sword.
believe it's a gun. If you're
Yeah.
going to believe
Yeah.
it's one weapon, why not believe it's another?
When
Things
you
are weird
see,
enough.
when you see it close up, it has a sword handle on it.
Yeah.
And you don't know that there's not a sword in his bag, but when you see it from a distance, it did look like
I've
a
had
weapon.
umbrellas and canes with swords in them
Yeah.
in my daytime.
But to many people, it did look like a rifle, and then from other angles, it looked like a sword. So they said, okay, it wound up being an umbrella, but let's err on the side of caution. What if it wasn't?
Right?
What if it was a sword?
Let's also err on the side of caution and tell that guy not to have a sword umbrella that he walks
Why
around
not?
with. Because you're stupid.
Why?
Because
Time's
you're asking-
moving, man.
You should be
You're
younger
asking
than
for
that.
trouble.
You should be young. You should not be a grown up. But I'm not kidding. I mean, I may have known you when I had a sword cane.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you were 50.
Yeah. So, but I'm learning from my mistakes. Don't do what I do. Do what I say.
Well, we are having some really wild weather. This rain has been falling nonstop for, I think, 24 hours now, and it is not expected to end. We are still going to have windy conditions. And the surf is up on the coast of Washington, and they say it is probably up far too much even for surfing. The waves are outrageous. They said, according to the National Weather Service, they may reach 32 feet
Wow.
in the seas.
That's even too big for Hoppa Dave, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, in my experience growing up in Southern California, is that it's never too big for surfers.
Yeah.
They're going to do it. They're going to hit it no matter what.
They're advising you don't.
I'll
That
bet.
they are going to be extremely dangerous. This is all along the coast of Washington and Oregon, even up to Canada. They said in some places like Grays Harbor, Ocean Shores, Aberdeen, you're going to see flooding, coastal flooding. That it's going to get really, really nasty. And up in the Cascades, that means a lot of snow.
I was flipping the channels last night. I believe it was last night. And I stopped by a thing called Building Alaska. And there was a guy taking a break. And he was surfing in Alaska. How is that possible? How is it possible that you can get permits to build a house because you can prove you know how, yet you're willing to surf in Alaska? It just seemed crazy to me.
I don't know. Just when she mentioned Canada, I thought
Yep.
nobody surfs in Canada.
That's what made me think about Alaska. As long as it's really crazy, let me tell you what I saw.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, a lot of people were talking about Donald Trump's medical checkup that
Yeah.
he had.
Oh, yeah.
Super fit and with cognitive abilities of an acrobat or something.
Well, Dr. Sanjay Gupta,
Oh,
has-
he's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, Gupta.
I like him.
he has contradicted the results given by the White House physician regarding Mr. President's health. In an article published on CNN yesterday, Dr. Gupta said he knows from what has been revealed in the past, public documents about Donald Trump's health, that he has cardiovascular disease. He said, looking at the coronary calcium CT scan, which examines calcium levels in blood vessels that go to the heart that would indicate cardio disease, his score is 133. Anything over 100 indicates plaque is present and they have heart disease. He said he doesn't take any medications. He doesn't live a healthy lifestyle. Therefore, the risk of having a heart attack in the next 3 to 5 years is pretty decent. So the White House doctor did respond and said, yes, those calcium scores are correct. So he's right that the president has coronary heart disease.
But kind of a non-event. And I hate that Gupta's getting it because I really, really like him, but it just seems, man, CNN. All right, so I've made it clear that this is not my guy. I won't say he's not my president because he is. He was elected. He's the president of the United States. Sure. But I didn't vote for him. I'm not a big fan. But it seems like CNN, he's always calling fake news and stuff, and I think, God, you're just such a liar. But it does seem like they go out of his way to get him. And like CNN specifically, like they'll just take anything they can get and get it and get it. You don't need to try hard to get something on Donald Trump. Like you said, you said he was healthy, but really he's got elevated cholesterol. First of all, I don't know anybody that doesn't have elevated. I have a statin and I have a stent in my neck or some such thing. I'm not the president, but I should be. But that is not the point.
You take cholesterol medications.
I'm assuming that I do. Yeah, I take whatever it is my wife gives me. And I just think that, you go call everybody out, and his doctor goes, no, that's right. You kind of just went, and Gupta's, I'm a fan. He just seems like he just went way out of his way to say something where nothing needed to be said.
Well, yeah, I think that the concern for some people who don't believe all the information was given was that it's lies of omission, that Trump's doctor didn't say anything about that.
But if it's omitted, where did Gupta get him?
That's what he's saying. This is public record.
Yeah.
But when his doctor earlier this week said, flying colors, he's healthy as a horse, he's going to live to be 200, 300 years old.
I'm not sure he went that far.
Yeah, but I get her point.
Well, wait a minute. You left out the fact that if he doesn't change something, he could have a heart attack because he has heart disease.
I think it's
a lies of omission.
I don't hear it because Gupta got to go somewhere where that existed, so it wasn't omitted. It was right there in the file.
And isn't it just kind of common sense? I mean,
yeah, you're 40 pounds overweight, you're 71, you eat fried chicken, you probably have cholesterol.
I think we all know that the president is at elevated risk of having a heart attack.
I don't think Gupta scored one. Is my point.
A Canadian woman has been convicted in the death of her friend after police discovered the murder weapon that was used in the crime was in a picture of the two on social media.
Neat. Whatever this is going to unroll into, it's kind of wild.
I mean, it is wild. It's a terrible story. This woman is dead, but the two of them were friends, and there's a picture of them on social media. You can see it, and there's the murder weapon.
Sword
right
umbrella.
A belt.
Oh, choked her?
Yep. So they, according to this woman who is now realizing busted, pleading guilty, she's 21 years old, killed her friend. She was found strangled in a landfill in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. She has now pled guilty because she posted a picture on a selfie of the two of them on Facebook. They're like, that's the murder weapon around that lady's waist.
Wow, that's fairly stupid of her.
Yep.
I'm sure she didn't post it after the murder.
Which lady?
Two best friends. One's dead. One's wearing the belt. The one wearing the belt committed the murder using her own belt.
Yeah.
And then the pictures are on social media, and they realize that's the murder weapon. And they said they got drunk. She wound up getting into an argument with her best friend, hit her, strangled her, and then decided to get rid of the body.
That is, first of all, very sad. But one of my bigger fears about relapsing, which I think about more often than I would like, if all the doctors are right, that your alcoholism progresses while you're not drinking. And the times that I have relapsed over the last 15 years or so, that seems to be true. Very little alcohol leads to me waking up going, what the hell happened? And just, could you imagine you relapse and you wake up and go, honey, wake up, I'm sorry. Honey, wake up. What? You don't want, you got to stay away from that kind of stuff. Alcohol, it's the devil's work.
Apple has come under major criticism for building much of its popular products in China. Well, they announced sweeping moves that are partially tied to the recent tax bill, including paying $38 billion in taxes made from profits overseas and opening a second corporate office. And iPhone says they will spend $30 billion in capital expenditures in the United States over the next 5 years.
That's nice.
A lot of businesses will be benefiting from Donald Trump's sweeping tax changes. It's meant to spur industry in America. And if this is any indication, it's working.
Thanks, Trump. A tax cut and $1,000 cash sounds pretty awesome. KZOK.com to find out all the details. Just click on the contest tab.
In California, it is now legal to buy marijuana.
Right.
Just like here, just like Oregon, just like Colorado. I think in Massachusetts you can now. A lot of different states you can buy it, but that doesn't mean you can bring it with you everywhere.
It doesn't.
It does not. You can have it like in your bag, but you can't smoke in public. Well, you're not supposed to.
And you still, and I was thinking about this. This may have been this morning. I don't know why I was thinking about this morning, but I was thinking about it. I'm going to LA soon, and I have these edible like mints that will get you high if you want, theoretically. And it's legal here and it's legal there. But once I get to the airport and make it and get in the air, I'm now committing a federal crime, aren't I?
You're not supposed to bring it with you to the airport.
Yeah, I don't think you can take it in the airplane at all.
Right, because you're once you get in the FAA's world, you're committing a crime.
Still federally illegal. Well, a gunman fired several rounds outside of the upscale Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood.
No way. I used to stay there. I stayed there 5 weeks once.
Well, he looks like he was planning on staying there, but the hotel staff said you can't bring that in with you, like holding marijuana. I don't know if it was a lit joint of some kind or if it was vaping. I don't know how he was partaking in marijuana, but they said you can't bring that in. He did not like being told that. So he went back to his car, got his gun, fired some shots at it, and then fled.
What kind of marijuana head is this?
Yeah, dude, smoke some pot. Chill
Chill
out
out a little bit. Have some cake.
A Maine animal rescue group say they are trying to raise money to save a 15-year-old pony.
Sorry, I'm still trying to work it out. Are they in Maine, or is this like the main
Story.
group? This is like the big one.
This in the state of Maine.
Okay.
An animal rescue group.
What's it called if you shoot up there?
Trying to find a main vein in Maine?
It's mainlining.
It's just called
in
lining.
Maine. It's a
Yeah.
main story.
It's called lining.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Chinese food in China.
Yeah.
Just food. And you certainly shouldn't shoot that up.
A 15-year-old pony needed some help, and an animal rescue group said
Aren't you a horse at 15?
No, totally different thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I hearing you wrong?
No, a pony's not a baby horse.
It's not?
No, it's a whole different kind of thing. It's like specially bred to be smaller. You can have adult ponies. You can. In fact, this pony is an adult pony.
Aren't all young horses ponies?
No, they are not.
That's a cool new thing I'm learning right now. All right.
So this is an adult, 15 years old. It had cancer. It had frostbite.
Is it an adult now, Paul? It has cancer.
It lost its penis.
Oh, my God.
What?
I hate it when that happens.
How much does God hate this pony?
Well, it had gotten
Cancer and frostbite?
Yep, cancer and frostbite. It got so cold, 25 below, exacerbating the problem, causing part of the animal's flesh to break off. This poor pony named Richard will be spared from being euthanized thanks to a fundraising campaign.
It totally doesn't sound like it's being spared. It totally sounds like we could read that pony mind. It would be going, would you kill me?
They raised over $4,000. That is for care and reconstruction.
Oh, come on. It's got a 3-year lifespan anyway, and now you're going to build it a fake wiener?
Well, the goal is for the pony to live the remainder of its life pain-free. Ponies can live for a long time, but they're going to give it another who's-its.
I know how to make sure that pony goes without pain for a long time. Put it down.
Aw.
It has cancer and no wiener, Paul. I don't think I'm being mean.
It's seen better days.
Yeah. And it's outside and minus 25. And now they're going to, let's keep it alive to do more of that to it.
Yeah, what did you say that this group was trying to do?
Yeah.
Torture animals?
Torture animals.
Loser.
Pony abusers. Yeah.
Are any of those phone calls about ponies being grown up? I see all these phones lighting up, and I wonder what we did wrong.
No, we're good, man. A colt is a young male horse. A filly is a young female horse.
That's correct.
But they're both ponies? Or
No,
neither one of them are
ponies and horses are completely separate animals.
Neither of those are ponies.
No, they're not ponies.
First of all, stop yelling at me right now. Second, okay.
You're a fan of My Little Pony. I thought you were an expert on
I'm a
this.
huge fan of My Little Pony.
Donkeys and zebras also not horses.
What?
Just
Right,
so you know.
donkeys and zebras.
A lot of people think donkeys are horses.
Yeah.
Well, they're stupid. Did you see the
No,
weird
a
animals?
lot more people think that ponies are baby horses.
That's because that's what I thought, and I'm not that stupid. But zebras are certainly not horses. They're naming these animals at the London Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Harry and what's her name?
Potter.
No. Her name is not Potter.
Okay.
Her name is
Megan.
Meghan Merkel.
Oh,
Markle.
Markle. Rhymes with Sparkle. And there are these two animals you never saw before. Their hindquarters look exactly like zebras, and the front look like crazy elks. And it turns out they're related to giraffes.
Oh, wow.
And they're hoping they will mate. Or mert.
All right, I spoke to an expert. It's a size measurement. So the difference between a horse and a pony is anything under 14 hands is called a pony.
There you go.
So hands is a unit
So
of
now it's a
measurement for
small
horses.
horse.
So-
When Paul said it's bred
so
to be
Danny's-
small, he was right.
Yeah, so Danny's technically a pony.
I'm technically a pony.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm 15 hands tall. I had a horse. I had an Appaloosa that was 18 hands tall. It was huge. It was bitching.
Could you get up on it without a step?
Yep.
Good for you. A couple are.
Thanks.
A lot of people can't. It's hard to get up on a horse. You need a lot of
I rode
strength.
for the longest time in the world with no saddle, no nothing, no how.
Fun.
But nah, not really. You shouldn't. I was just showing off.
Have you been riding recently?
No.
I haven't been for a while either. We should go riding.
We should go.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that when we do a we should, that we don't.
That's true.
So let's just say it again. We should go riding.
Yeah,
All right,
totally.
thanks for
For the
the
record,
bitching.
Paul and I have talked about going horseback riding for 3 years now.
Yeah, we haven't gone. I think it came up on the
Don't-
show, and we
don't
said, hey,
ride
we
it.
should go.
Don't ride a pony.
I won't.
Because they need their strength.
A couple are still in shock after they survived a piece of wood that flew through their windshield on the highway. The piece of wood was left sitting in the left lane when the car in front of them ran over it, flipping it back towards their car. They said it flipped up, hit the hood, and bounced through the windshield. This giant log went through the windshield, crushed the man's hand as he drove on the steering wheel, crushed his hand. She said her husband didn't make any noise. He didn't scream, overcorrect. He then went to the hospital for a broken hand, but a log went through the windshield.
I would scream and overcorrect, for sure. And I'd scream dirty words. What song is this we're playing?
I have no idea.
Ren and Stimpy, the log song.
Log,
Tiny bit of
log,
screaming. All right, man. All right, I'll go with that.
that's wood. Log, log, it's better than bad. It's good.
You apparently know this song.
You guys don't watch Simpsons, Ren and Stimpy? No?
I don't.
I've watched The Simpsons.
All right, never mind.
Is this song featured on The Simpsons?
It's from Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
So why'd you say Simpsons?
Because the Ren and Stimpy can play. Derek Wright plays in the background of The Simpsons.
You're thinking of Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh, Itchy and Scratchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close though.
Ren and Stimpy were MTV.
Yes.
You want to get ready to put something in my box?
Yeah.
Oh, put that wood in my box. Is that Ren or Stimpy?
That's Ren.
Perfect, isn't it?
They're not bad. Not bad.
Genius.
Don't act like you don't know who Ren and Stimpy are. You can do an impression.
I'm actually doing a impression of an old time actor, but it turns out that's who they based it on.
They're on right after Krusty the Clown, right?
Nobody watches Krusty the Crown, Paul. I heard
What?
it. Krusty the Crown.
If you're looking for a new job, which
Oh, really?
some of
What?
us are, I might have to give up being a vegetarian if I want to get out of here. No, there is a new job opening. You can find out about it online, but it is a chicken nugget connoisseur.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
B&M,
How much do we have to pay them? Because I'm still in.
Can we eat them a la mode? Because there's no bad way for a McNugget, man.
B&M is a supermarket chain in
Well,
England.
that's gross.
Suddenly I'm out.
Yeah, okay. What else are they going to make me
We're
do?
eating what now?
B&M supermarket chain are currently hiring for the position of chicken nugget connoisseur.
Yeah.
You will get paid to eat chicken nuggets if you get this job. You'll have to try all different kinds of chicken nuggets that they'll carry at the supermarket, and you may even have to try other frozen foods as well, like maybe a fish stick, for
Yeah.
example. But you will get paid to be a chicken nugget connoisseur.
All right.
You in?
I will happily do that. Yeah. Have you ever noticed, though, in chicken nuggets, even in, like the best chicken nuggets, you can get like a piece of cartilage or something like that
Ew.
pops down
Ew.
when you eat it.
Ew.
Little too chewy.
I happen to think it's like the best part. But
Oh,
your
really?
chicken McNuggets should not make a big crack when you eat them.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to work that
No,
hard.
but they're yummy.
I think Derek is actually a chicken nugget connoisseur on the side.
Is that true?
Yeah, frozen, fresh. I don't care.
Cool. You know what I have, and I better hurry up and eat them because they're breaded. I have a Met Market again. Just gonna love this place. You know what I have in my freezer?
What's that?
A 2-pound bag of already cooked frog's legs.
Oh, wow.
Come on, man. How good is life? You can go to the corner store and get that.
Why do you have to hurry up and eat them?
Just as I'm going to be watching my diet carefully. You know, I'm having a meeting with 3010 not too long. I'd hate to walk in there and go, boop, doop, doop, doop. I'm the fried frog's legs guy.
You don't actually have to make that
No,
sound.
you have to. If you're anywhere where Dr. Rocky makes you do it, he gives you a little tape recorder and you have to go around and go, doop, 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 doop.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida's Story of the Day.
Yay!
A Florida man was arrested for calling 911 to report something about his wife.
All right.
Well, sometimes you get into an altercation, you need to call the cops on somebody.
Yep.
Well, in this case, he was trying to protect himself because he called the cops and said, "My wife is a black widow spider. I need you to get over here because she needs to be Baker acted."
Baker acted?
That's what he says.
Which means what exactly?
I know. Is there a real world word in there, or is that he just making stuff up?
I was hoping you might know what Baker acted.
Well, I'm thinking
meant.
arachnoids or arachnids and things like
No,
that.
acted.
Acted, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like what you did in Bigfoot. You
Okay,
acted.
According to line 3, it means 15 hands tall. Oh, no, that's an old call. Never mind.
Oh, it's when you involuntarily commit somebody to a psychiatric evaluation.
Oh,
Shocked I didn't know this one.
Like
What's
a
it called?
5150, the
Yeah.
Baker Act.
The Baker Act.
How did you
Oh,
not know
Baker
that?
acted.
Yes.
God, okay, I got it.
Is this in Florida? That's I think it might be several states, but that's specifically in Florida.
Gotcha. Well, the cops arrived and he said she's
Oh, it is Florida.
a
And
black.
this guy knew the technical term. He thinks his wife is a spider, yet knows a technical term none of us did.
My wife is a black widow spider. You need to come and get her. Cops arrived. He appeared to be highly intoxicated. She was not a spider. She was a human. And they left. Well, a few hours later, he called again and said, "My wife is a black widow spider."
Wait, they left him there? Because like, oh, everything's okay. It turns out she's not,
Not
a spider.
Everything's going to be fine here.
He doesn't need to be Baker acted?
For thinking his wife's a spider.
Right.
Well, he didn't
That's
say,
a good
because I was
point.
listening, and he didn't say he was going to take any action
No.
because she's a spider.
Still.
And you have to be a danger to yourself or others. Maybe noticing that his wife is an arachnoid doesn't make him dangerous.
Just being wrong
Just
doesn't
makes him
mean-
wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Well, if you tried to flush her down the toilet, there'd be a problem.
Yes, there would. If you go to jail every time you're wrong, you guys got to come get me eventually.
He was eventually arrested after the third call to 911 for misuse of the 911 system.
Right.
And she never did turn into a spider. Oh, Florida.
Oh,
Oh,
Florida.
Florida.
When we come back with music news, entertainment, and sports, we'll tell you about a wild update to the induction of a rock legend, what band, into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A
Right.
big update on their ceremony when we come back. An acting legend may be set to join an unusual rock band. We'll tell you about this. A familiar face from reality TV is likely headed to jail, plus all the sports news next.
This traffic report is brought to you by Walgreens. In Eatonville, we have a fallen tree blocking one lane of the road on Highway 161 just north of State Route 7, causing some delays there. And in Renton on 405 northbound, just north of Highway 169, we do have an earlier accident that has been cleared, but still causing some delays. Looking to save money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions? As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers copays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Hey, if you've got an aging parent and they would like to stay in their home and take care of themselves, but you have worries about their medications, how they're eating, are they shopping right, are they driving anymore? Did they give up driving like my 93-year-old mother? It is an issue. Well, let me tell you about Servwell. I'm very happy to be telling you about these guys. They're a matchmaking service for senior care in the Puget Sound area, and Servwell, they're going to help you make all the possible choices for your parents that want to stay at home in the comfort of their home, but still get the care they deserve. Now, most of us, including me here, and I wish I were, are not capable of taking care of an aging parent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just something we're not prepared and set up to do. There's still a way to help. Go to servewell.com, choose your service, choose your caregiver, and choose your price. And Servewell vets the caregivers through background checks, verifying certifications and interviews and all that stuff. Servewell even has a mobile app, which I dig, that provides real-time status through GPS tracking of your loved one's caregivers, so they can let you know where they are, what they're doing, what time they get there. It's a really good way to go. If you got an aging parent, Servewell is the way to go. Check out servewell.com.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by CHI Franciscan Health. It's currently 44 in Seattle. You're going to get highs in the upper 40s today and lows in the 50s. Or upper 40s, low 50s. It's going to remain windy and wet for most of the rest of the day. CHI Franciscan Health, they help bring thousands of new family members into the Great Northwest. Find personalized healthcare choices at chifranciscan.org/women's. Northwest Healthy. Now to Danny and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the class of 2018, has a lot of amazing artists. Nina Simone, Dire Straits, Moody Blues, The Cars, Bon Jovi. Now, the ceremony will be broadcast on HBO April 14th. And now, yesterday, we found out Bon Jovi will be inducted by Howard Stern.
That's kind of interesting.
He went on his show and said that he would like to ask him if he would be interested. And, of course, Howard Stern said, hell yeah. He said, I'm so honored you asked me. I am thrilled to do it. They've worked together a lot through the years, so Howard Stern inducting Bon Jovi into the Hall of Fame.
Don't care for it.
Why?
Because it's Bon Jovi getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and when it's over, it's going to be Howard Stern who inducted Bon Jovi to the Hall of Fame. It's going to be either a split event or a Howard Stern event, and I'll tell you right now, if this was 15 years ago, it'd be all Howard Stern event, not because he was so much more popular then, but he was more, it was very more important to get press, that he'd come up there with fake poop or, something. He remember when he had MTV Music Awards, he came down as Fart Man?
Fart Man,
with his butt out? It was just stupid. I think this is a mistake in judgment. And Howard was very instrumental in getting me into radio, and I love him and everything. I just think it's a mistake.
He's a lot more tame now.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be all professional and not any gimmicks. There won't be any butt cheeks.
50 trillion Zimbabwe?
Sure.
All right, Paul, you're the judge
All right.
of if something weird enough happened for my side of the bet to be right, if nothing happened for her side of the bet.
No shenanigans.
No
That's your
shenanigans.
bet,
I think he's going to act like a professional.
Yeah, no,
and-
I'm very comfortable in this bet.
All right, 50 trillion Zimbabwean dollars.
Damn right, sister.
It's on.
Like Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Yep, exactly how it's on.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson has parted ways with his longtime guitarist. And in a tweet yesterday, Marilyn Manson revealed Johnny Depp is considering a position on guitar. Now, they've collaborated before. He made some appearances in videos. They did a cover version of Carly Simon's You're So Vain. Johnny Depp played drums and guitar on that song. But now, according to Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp considering joining the band full time.
From what I understand, he's capable.
Yeah.
He's so easy to mock. He's almost my age, and he's still in the guy liner and the 97 bracelets and a scarf and a handkerchief around his neck or whatever the hell it is. You need to straighten that up and stop losing $24 million because you don't know where you put it. But I hear he's capable of that.
And it's really hard to be the weirdest dude in Marilyn Manson's band.
Right,
I mean, you have
exactly.
Marilyn Manson to compete with.
And you show up and you're in guy liner and think you're fascinating.
Yeah, Johnny Depp could do it.
But I was watching a thing about Too Young to Die or whatever it was, and this was the River Phoenix story. And this is 30 years ago now or whatever it is.
So, yeah.
And part of it was, so River's going there to join him to play in his band at the Viper Room, to play in Johnny Depp's band. And that's 30 years ago. So if he continued to practice, I guess he's
Right.
good enough to do this.
yeah.
The Grammy Awards are right around the corner. On January 28th, they'll be broadcast on television, but they'll be airing from New York City. And a lot of performers have already been announced, and it is actually getting better. Kendrick Lamar, Sam Smith, Elton John, and U2
Neat.
have been announced to join the already huge lineup. Cardi B, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Kesha, SZA, Pink, you name it, the people are performing. But now U2, Elton John,
Yeah, that's a
Kendrick
thing.
Lamar, that will be quite a festivity. If you missed it, about 40 minutes ago, we made a major concert announcement.
Major concert announcement.
We announced the deck.
No, you don't have to do it. We did it for you.
Dead
so-
and Co.
You can buy the entire seat, but you'll only need the edge.
The Dead and Company, The Gorge, June 29th. That was our major concert announcement, just in time for summer. What a great concert. The
Those
Dead and
tickets are going to be
Company.
really tough to get.
Yeah.
I mean, how are people even going to get those tickets?
Well, they're going to get them by winning them all day tomorrow on a free concert
Whoa.
Friday.
Oh, that's
No
convenient.
way. That's so crazy that you said that.
Wow, Paul, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day tomorrow. Free concert Friday. Dead and Company, The Gorge. Woohoo.
Yeah.
A rare first edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, worth over $55,000, was stolen during a burglary in England, where a number of other valuable books were stolen as well. But the biggest one, especially for Americans, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Or was the first one called Harry Potter?
No, I think it is the first one.
Because I did a binge on them recently, and I couldn't keep the names apart. You knew where they were by how old the kids were.
Right.
By the end of them, they're like 47 years old. Those kids.
I think I've read only the first 3. A copy of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit from 1934 was also stolen. A first edition copy of Winnie the Pooh, a hardcover. The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. A first edition of The Great Gatsby. So a lot of really significant books that are worth a ton of money. But that Harry
First
Potter...
edition of The Great Gatsby has to be worth more than a Harry Potter book, right?
I think there may have been more of those. I'm not positive.
Wow.
All I know, dollar amount wise, is $55,000 for the Harry Potter.
You know what? I'm down with people stealing books. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like not mugging an old lady in the street. You're stealing literature. Kind of cool.
You're okay with stealing first editions? Is that what you said?
Yeah, also rare art. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be a thief, at least be cultured.
Remember those guys in Boston stole $300 million worth of painting, let the frames up and everything, and
awesome.
the frames are still up? Awesome. They didn't hurt anybody. It's bitching.
They didn't hurt anybody. So if somebody breaks into your house and steals all your stuff that's worth $55,000, that's okay?
Yes. If you break into my house and you steal everything worth over $55,000, consider it a gift.
And it's all insured. So, I mean, all these rare books are insured. These people are going to be made
Nobody
whole.
got hurt.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do
people.
more of it.
Yeah. Loser book abusers.
No, they're appreciating
Yeah,
books.
Yeah.
Who wants to be...
You know the expression, these things are so great, they're a steal? That's where that expression comes
Yeah.
from.
I looked it up, and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is indeed the first
First
one.
one.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire isn't going anywhere. The long-running game show has been renewed for a 17th season
My goodness.
on ABC-owned stations.
And host number 9 now?
I got to be honest with you, I had no idea this show was still on. I really
Me
liked
either.
it when Meredith Vieira was hosting. I liked Regis, but then they've had so many other people.
I enjoyed it with Regis, but he looked at me and told me I didn't know how to use my thumbs, and because I didn't know what he was saying, I thought that everybody had gone crazy. What do you mean? He goes, Bonaducci, he knows all the answers, but he doesn't know how to use his thumbs. And what's that mean? Oh, my God.
Currently, it is hosted by The Bachelor's Chris Harrison.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually watched a little of that last night. It was unbearable. I told my wife I will watch the show with you because I love you and we'll hang out.
The Bachelor or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
The Bachelor.
Gotcha.
And all the ladies were in a professional wrestling ring with professional wrestlers. And the professional wrestlers, and I've been through this, we're trying to intimidate them, going, "What's up, ponytail? You gonna cry for me, baby? And then throwing them on the ground, and they're going, "Ow, I don't understand.
weird.
Wait." And they go, "Aren't you trying to get his love?" Oh my God, this is happening? No, I can't watch this with you, baby. I'm sorry.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire back for its 17th season. They also ordered another season of the viral video show Right This Minute, which will keep both of these series on through 2019.
Anybody do the HQ thing on their phone?
No. What's that?
It's a game that happens every day at 6 o'clock exactly, and it's a worldwide game show.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah,
I
oh
heard
God,
about
it's
it. I haven't done
everywhere.
it yet.
So the second I did it, I realized it's all over the news. Everybody's talking about it. And now, by the way, my phone, everything on my news app is now about that thing where you take a picture of yourself and it matches your face up with a portrait.
Yeah, that's what
Apparently
at first I thought you were talking about that
No.
because we talked about that yesterday and I still haven't done that either.
It's everywhere.
The
That
game
stupid
show
thing.
he's talking about, it's on your phone.
It's called HQ, right?
I don't remember the name of it. I haven't done it yet.
Because
but
I'm an HQtie. That's how I know.
It's a speed game. It's trivia, so you don't have any time to cheat. I think they give you 8 seconds to answer a trivia question. If you get it, you move on, but you're competing with everybody who's playing at that particular time. And if you get the question right, you move on. As soon as you get a question wrong, you're kicked out, and there's big prizes.
And I think it's like up to 12 questions. And I have won every game show, television game show I've ever been on. And so far, I can't beat question 6. I feel like an idiot.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to your phone's app store and look for HQ Trivia, you'll find it.
It's fun.
Cool.
Tonight is the night for the music competition show that everybody is talking about, The Four Battle for Stardom on Fox. Who will be the next four to face a challenger, and will they keep their seat or get sent packing?
Challenge!
You can tune in tonight at 8, Q13 Fox, to find out who will move one step closer to being named the next iHeartRadio On the Verge artist. That is tonight. The Jersey Shore. Remember that show?
Yeah.
The Situation
Gym
has...
Tan Laundry.
Right. He and his brother have been facing charges and battling these charges until now.
I thought they were in jail.
No, they have been fighting fraud charges. They have been
Tax evasion, right?
fighting tax evasion charges. Now, they are accused of not paying income tax on $9 million earned in 2 years.
Who's giving these guys $9 million?
Earned is a strong word.
They have now pleaded guilty, and as a result, are facing up to 15 years in prison. Originally, they rejected a
And
plea
what's his
deal.
face did 5, so it's not like they don't send movie stars. Not Denzel Washington.
Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
He did 5 real years.
Yeah.
He'll be back in court tomorrow, and he'll find out his fate. He had rejected a plea deal, but has now agreed to plead guilty. But we don't know what the agreement was. If he rejected last week's, I'm assuming they have to have come to a plea deal that's not 15 years in prison.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a deal. That's the worst.
Yeah.
3, but I'm guessing does he beat it? Did he make a deal to not go to jail? Because they're sending reality stars to jail left and right. That chick from Housewives of New Jersey, she did 2 years, and her husband just went in to do 5.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 35 now. You know, he's not a kid.
Right.
You got to act like an adult. Fire and Fury, the best-selling expose of President Trump's White House, may be headed to the small screen. There is a report out that says Endeavor Content has bought the television rights to the book with a 6-figure deal. Michael Wolff, the book's author, would be the executive producer of the series, and a veteran TV exec named Michael Jackson, different Michael Jackson,
I would imagine, yeah.
will be the producer for this. So we'll see if anyone actually wants to pick it up and put it on television, but it is being optioned for a television series.
Cool. I mean, it's being so harshly disputed. It's kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing because the big thing that's standing out from the interviews that I have watched with Powder, that's what I call the guy that wrote that book. If you looked at him.
Yeah.
The one thing he says, well, everybody knows that he can't remember. He doesn't even know where he is. Everybody is aware to remind him what he's talking about. And they said it's every 15 seconds. He'll say the same thing 3 times. Now, his doctor says, totally not true. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to make a story of a president who doesn't know where he is all the time?
I don't know.
Seems odd.
I'll watch, though.
Me too.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. As we discussed, the Seahawks are headed to London this next season, and they'll be playing the Oakland Raiders October 14th. This is the first time they'll have gone. Everyone's kind of excited about it. Also excited because they're not giving up a home game. So this is considered an away game, meaning we won't lose any home games here in Seattle. However, we are now finding out the NFL will announce ticket information today. We'll keep a close eye on this because there are a lot of people who want to get their tickets and make this trip over to London.
And those games sell out. I mean, they're highly attended by locals as well.
Now, they are going to be at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which fits 61,000 people.
That doesn't seem like enough.
Wembley Stadium is where the games are normally played, and that one is 90. So that's why a lot of people are keeping an eye on this. That's a lot of seats.
Yeah.
It's much more than we would normally fit at Century Link, but people want to make the plan. So today they will announce how to get your hands on those tickets.
When you first told us this last week, I thought we should put together a show trip and go do that. But all the bells and whistles and connecting of the right lines to go and do that. I mean, we do work for a big fat radio company now. I don't know that we're going to get to go do that.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I would love to go.
Wait, are you going to set it up? Are you going to go to whatever powers that be? And,
Sure.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Roger Goodell.
Apparently, we're going to England.
All right. I'm in.
Roger Goodell has not really given a lot of support to the New England Patriots after the Deflategate scandal. He once again announced that he will be headed to the NFC Championship game this year instead of the AFC Championship because that's where Tom Brady plays.
Right.
So 2 game choices this weekend, the NFC and the AFC, and just like he did last year, he is going to the NFC
You know what?
game.
If you're the head of the NFL, you go to the one where New England's playing. That's, there's not even a real choice there. You're making a big statement by not doing this.
Yeah. Katie Couric is headed back to NBC to co-host the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. She spent nearly 20 years with the network before leaving in 2006. She'll co-host alongside Mike Tirico at the ceremony for the Pyeongchang Olympics in South Korea, which start February 9th. Now, she is going to be doing this because a notable face will not. Matt Lauer.
Right.
Matt Lauer, of course, not being welcomed back with open arms. Katie Couric, however, will
Is that guy ever going to work again?
I don't think so. No, I think he's done, but I think he has the money.
He has so much money, but
that's.
I know the feeling of, walking into your restaurant and just know everybody's ashamed of you. Everybody's embarrassed. Everybody knows something about you that's wrong and bad. It's pretty horrifying. And like, when I'm done with that, it's like, oh, so what? It was Bonaducci, big deal. But Matt Lauer is like a real human. He's a real person.
You're a real person, man.
Kind of. I don't think you have to stay up night going, oh, Danny Bonaducci did a really terrible thing. Like, yeah, of course he did.
In NCAA basketball, the Huskies face the Utes at 7, and the Cougars face Colorado at 5. That's your sports, brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
This traffic report is brought to you by Money Tree. In Renton on I-405 southbound at Highway 181, there's an earlier accident that has been cleared but still causing some delays. And in Eatonville, we have a fallen tree blocking one lane of Highway 161 just north of State Route 7. At Money Tree, they stand for great customer service, and that's what they deliver. They offer payday loans up to $700. Apply at moneyinc.com or stop by a Money Tree branch today. Always use short-term credit responsibly. Your money in time. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
It has been.
You can see him doing
Yeah,
it.
I
Right?
can.
Let's see. This week, minus 80.
Oh, man. Grab your ponies.
There is one woman who is what they call a local Yakuskayan woman.
Oh, of course.
So in the parts of Siberia, who posted a beautiful photo of herself. She's wearing a hat. She's wearing a scarf across her nose, but then her eyelashes, instead of it being mascara, it's snow. Her eyelashes froze.
Oh, what a bummer.
It's so cold when you go outside, your eyelashes instantly freeze.
You
Sorry
ever-
to be in trouble.
You ever try and bury a guy in Siberia?
I have not.
Nothing but hassle. Don't kill a guy in Siberia.
I think you have to wait till summer when
You
it's
do.
only -20.
You can't bury people in Siberia. You can't dig. All the ground's frozen.
Well, I think it's safe to say that those are some extreme temperatures. That, we had some cold spells back in December, like 30.
Yeah.
But that's extreme. That is a weather extreme if there ever was
That
one.
is, I one time, here's my weather extreme right here. So I get hired for my first time ever to do the Danny Bonaducci morning show. Here we go, the big league.
Yeah.
Mornings in Phoenix, Arizona. And I get off the plane, it's 122 degrees. Yeah, people were wearing T-shirts like the next day, which was good because it made me realize, this isn't every day. People had
Yeah,
T-shirts
yeah.
printed up that said, I survived 122.
Oh.
But at 116 was every day, a couple weeks in a row. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's not necessarily weather. I guess it sort of is. But when I was in Arizona as well, I was at a radio station in Tucson. And they said, well, be careful for when it's monsoon season because then you'll come to work. And if you're not very careful, you won't notice that the entire building is covered in tarantulas.
Well, that's important. Although, how do you not
How
notice?
do you not notice
How
that?
do you not
Yeah.
notice
If it's
that?
dark, you might not realize. He said
Yeah.
sometimes you'll look at the building and it looks fine. And then the building starts moving and you realize it's covered in
I
tarantulas.
lived in Arizona. I had no idea they even had monsoons, but they do have the crazy rains or monsoons.
Crazy
I always thought of
rains.
those in like tropical places.
And then they have arroyos built to get the water flushed down. And then the water is so wet that the tarantulas go up under the sides of buildings.
I think when the water is not as wet as other times, I think that's odd.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say a tarantula season, freezing cold, and 122 degrees. Those are all extremes.
Extreme weathers, man.
When have you experienced extremes? We would love to hear your story. Call us right now at 800-252-1025. When have you experienced extremes?
All right, in parts of Siberia, women are being forced to shave their eyeballs before they can go out because they're freezing shot or some such thing. It's just too cold there to be 79 degrees below zero. So Sarah has posed the question, and that is, have you ever dealt with extremes of any kind? But I'll start with weather.
Well, yeah, so many weather extremes. Now, we always talk about Tori's eyelashes, how she's got the big, long, fake eyelashes. Imagine that if they were white and it was icicles.
Well, that's gross.
That's what this woman looks like, the picture of this woman.
It's up on KZOK.com if you want to check it out.
I've seen all sorts of people climbing mountains with their beard and mustaches completely frozen.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've seen it in real life, but in movies you can break off parts of your beard. I think that may be a real thing if they were frozen solid.
I don't think I've ever seen eyelashes freeze the second you walk out the door, though. It's pretty extraordinary. But yeah, it's an
You
extreme.
ever seen when you throw a bucket of hot water in the air when it's super cold? That happens instantaneously. Cool. Weather sucks. Let's not have any more. That's my stand.
Yeah.
Have you experienced extremes? Call us. Let us know at 800-252-1025. Let's go to Kevin in Snohomish.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how you guys?
We're all good. What do you got for us?
Well, I flew to Minnesota on Christmas Day, and on the 27th of December, it was 47 below when I got up in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Wow, all sorts of things are wrong with that. It's too cold, and you're in Brainerd, Minnesota. Have you ever been to a place, and sometimes they're actually in decent place, but Minnesota, I have two friends that live there, two guys I know that live there, and they both love it.
Yep.
They have a big restaurant scene, a big theater scene. All right, fine. But you get there and it's 47 below. Why does anybody stay there? Why isn't Minnesota just abandoned?
Yeah, you should get off the airplane and go, oh, that was a mistake. I'm going to get back on and go
How
somewhere
do I
else.
get to California or Washington or a normal place?
Yo, in Olympia.
Hey, yo.
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Tell us about the extremes you experienced, Yo.
Okay, well, recently I went to KZOK's Christmas party.
Yes, you did.
And on the way home, my GPS on my phone wasn't working, and I don't know my way around Tacoma. So I tried to follow the signs to the freeway. And unfortunately for me, an extreme fog came down where I had about 5 feet of visibility outside of my car. I could not read the street signs, and I drove around the hilltop area of Tacoma for about 40 minutes.
You know, I remember it.
Oh,
I remember
bad.
that. Do you guys remember the
Super
super fog? It was crazy. I wondered if people were going to show up at the Christmas party, and thankfully our friend Yo did. But Sarah will certainly remember this. But do you remember the football game you couldn't see from like the third row?
Oh, that was
recently?
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was crazy. You had no idea what was happening because it was so foggy. And then I guess it was Buffalo played in 7 below. All craziness, man.
Cruel and unusual.
Buffalo. That's another point. How do you wake up and think Buffalo's still a good idea?
When I left our Christmas party, I was backing out onto a pretty busy road, and I couldn't see anything. And I just thought, no, I'm just going to go and hope for the best. And then I thought, they can't see me either.
Right,
That was a really stupid move. I should have put Derek out in the middle of the road to
what I
stop the
do.
traffic.
When have you experienced extremes? That's what we're talking about. Let's talk to Tracy and Linwood.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, bud, how you doing, guys?
Oh, good, man. What's happening?
Oh, not much. Hey, I got to tell you guys something. You guys are almost as funny as Bob and Tom, you know.
Is that right? Almost.
Who else are we almost as
By the
funny
way, I have
as?
no
No,
idea
don't
who
get him
that is.
started. There's a big list.
So, Tracy, tell us about when you experienced extremes.
Originally, I'm from South Dakota. I just moved out here about a month ago because son's in the military. But I can remember back in, I think it was like 95, we had 250-some inches of snow. And we had wind chill factors of minus 65 below, but we lost 200 and some thousand head of cattle in that country.
Oh,
Wow, that is
Jeez.
And I
that
can
is
remember
crazy.
on the highways, some of the 2-lane highways out there, I hauled cattle for 33 years, but I can remember going through tunnels.
Wow,
So there was
that,
no place to push the snow, and they made tunnels, you know.
that
It's
is
pretty cool.
absolutely crazy. Sarah and I experienced one together. Do you remember Snowmageddon?
oh, that was crazy.
It snowed so much that the president of these United States made references to Philadelphia's weather and called it Snowmageddon. And he was right. I lived 1,000 feet from work. I never drove. It was bitching. And I couldn't get to work 2 days. 2 days.
That's how
Crazy.
much snow. Let's go to David calling from Parkland.
Hey, David, how are you?
Hey, good morning, you beautiful people.
All right, what do you got?
Well, it seems to be the central U.S., North U.S. We're going to go back to North Dakota, 2000. Wind 30 below zero, wind chill 60 below zero at 2 a.m., and I was changing a flat tire.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
no fun.
And
Yeah,
you
I've
have
never
no
done that.
choice. It's not like you can just walk.
I think is North Dakota another place where you just go, why is there
Why?
still civilization here?
Yeah,
they
I would
frack.
like-
I know there's some fracking going on.
Yeah, lately
But
a big boom.
A one-bedroom apartment in North Dakota, I forget what part of North Dakota it is where they're fracking, can be like $6,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's Manhattan in North Dakota.
We're talking about if you've experienced extremes, weather or otherwise. Let's talk to James in Seattle.
Hey, James.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, what's up?
I'm calling because my experience was in 1989 when I was active duty in the Army in Alaska at Fort Wainwright. It was, I believe, negative 42 degrees with a negative 75 wind chill factor, and it was a sad event that took place while I was up there. Unfortunately, there was a plane wreck. It was a Canadian military. They were on their way home, and sad talking about it now, but yeah, that was one of the events that took place.
That's
Yeah,
one of the
it's
places.
terrible.
That's one of the places that I don't go. What the hell are you doing there? 75 degrees below
It's
zero.
Alaska.
It's
You go there
Alaska.
every year.
You go. Yeah, it's Alaska. It's you. There's a moose in my front yard. Of course, there's a moose in your front. That's weird in Minnesota, but in Alaska, you expect that.
Absolutely. It's too cold when your planes don't fly properly.
Yeah, and when Canadians can't handle it.
Or too hot.
Exactly.
Remember that in Phoenix, Arizona, they now won't land or take off in over
'Cause
120.
the runways, yeah. Woody in Lakewood, when have you experienced extremes?
Yeah, I used to live in Walla Walla,
Bitchin'.
and 1 year I experienced, it was made the national record high for that day in Walla Walla at 111, but I've experienced warmer than that, like 100, 115. And then winter there, we had 20 below temperatures for like a week or two.
Where is
and
this?
lowest-
Walla Walla.
Is that right? That happens there? I didn't know. Is it
Yeah.
what is the Palm Springs of Washington? It says in the
It's got to be
magazine.
Yakima, right?
Is it Yakima? Okay,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen in Yakima, does it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it does. It gets
very
really
upset.
hot and really
I'm
cold.
very upset with Yakima.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can see these pictures of Walla Walla, all those wineries, and it's a beautiful 100-degree day, and then all of a sudden it's buried under snow. Super extremes.
I
in
want
that
to see
part
the
of
picture of the lady
Washington.
with the icicles. Oh, I invented a name, icicles.
Icicles.
Look at
I
me
like
go.
That
Good.
picture's up at KZOK.com if you want to check it out.
Icicles.
Have you experienced extremes, weather or otherwise? Let's go to Tanner in Gig Harbor.
Hey,
Good
Tanner.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going great. Tanner, I didn't even know she was pale. Back to you. What's up, Tanner?
Okay, so I took a trip down to LA, and it's not about weather, but I went to Six Flags Magic Mountain,
Yeah.
and we were doing our thing there. And then for lunch, had a lot of Panda Express, and went on one of their extreme roller coasters. And at the end of it, I got so sick, threw up all my Panda Express, and people a couple rows back from me were like, someone threw up all their Panda Express.
What a bummer. I got
The fact that the people 3 rows back can identify
If-
the food.
if my wife is listening right now, she knows this is coming. I make fun of her all the time about this because there was a Panda Express between us and our houses before we met. We both used to go there all the time. We never met. And her big story about the Panda Express is on a first date with another couple. They all ate Panda Express, and then she just barfed all over this guy. And that's a hard. You know what? But then remember, she barfed all over me in Puerto Vallarta or some
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
thing. That's what this chick does to get attention.
to try and get people to like her.
Yeah.
Jeremiah in Seattle, have you experienced extremes?
Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, sweetheart.
All right. Free falling. Primary shoot. Failed.
Oh.
Thousands of feet up. I had to rely on the secondary chute, and luckily I found some water below to go ahead and drop you in.
Oh my gosh, Becky.
Yeah, I've never had to pull the emergency chute. That just seems so scary. But there's 2 parachutes in a parachute, and you pull the big
Right.
one, and you wait a couple of seconds, and that doesn't go. You have to make the decision to pull one that you should never see in your whole life.
Wow.
That second one, that's scary.
That is super scary. Ken and Yelm, have you experienced extremes?
Yeah, I have 2 extremes, one on and the other. I was stationed up in Thule, Greenland. It's a base that no one knows about. 750
Till
miles
now.
in right there, circle. Yeah. And so we get wind gusts between 70 and 100, miles an hour that so you have negative 70 and negative 100-degree weather. And we were out one time, and it was like around negative 70, negative 80, and someone we had to go look for someone, so we had to get in our Iron Man suits and and go out and look for this idiot. And wound up he was passed out in a vehicle. So
Whoa, did he survive?
oh yeah, he survived. I mean, it was just in the parking lot. He was just, instead of being in his dorm room, because everybody's locked down
But
during that time.
even in the parking lot, it's still 75
Yeah.
below.
Right.
It seems like you shouldn't survive
It
that.
seems like you should not survive. And I've told you before, like I get out in any kind of weather that I don't like, and I think I'll just die here. And that's like where it's 35. 35, and I got to walk to the store, and I think, oh, it's further than I thought. I wish I could just die on the stairs.
Derek, have you experienced extremes?
Extreme ear pain and extreme confusion when I saw the band Gwar live in concert.
You saw Gore?
Actually, yeah, I didn't like it. I kind of hated it, and I saw him like 2 more times after that. I think it
Did
was,
you drink water at Gore?
I drank a lot of water to stay hydrated when I saw Gwar.
I don't think he knows what's happening.
No.
That's all
Gwar.
right. Gwar is still our favorite band. You're fine.
On that note, I think it's time to play Living Dangerously.
Living dangerously.
For your shot at a pair of tickets to Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers Summer of Living Dangerously tour, June 5th, Key Arena. If you want to play and win the tickets, call now, 800-252-1025. Steely Dan, who are being joined by the Doobie Brothers for the Summer of Living Dangerously Tour June 5th at Key Arena, and we are giving you a chance to win tickets all week long by playing Living Dangerously. So to win the tickets, you will have to correctly answer the question about Danny living dangerously. Michael in Tacoma, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're well, thank you. Okay, I got 3 quick questions. I added one. Ready?
Oh.
Well, the first question is the official one. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
All right, that's 1.
All right.
2, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Mostly.
All right, and 3, of course, do you understand the rules of the game?
I believe so.
Then
He's
here we
3
go.
for 3. Does he win the
All
tickets?
right.
Yeah, here we go. No, you still got to come up with an answer. While living dangerously, sometimes my mouth has gotten me into trouble, and sometimes it was other people's mouths that were causing for concern. I was bitten on numerous occasions, but can you tell us, was I bitten by a hamster, a monkey, a KZOK listener, or all of the above when I was living dangerously?
You know, I'm going to go with all of the above.
Well, you should, because that's the right answer, man.
That can't be right.
I know. When you said it, when you wrote it down, that's really sad. That hasn't happened to anybody.
Danny has been bitten by a hamster. Danny has been bitten by a monkey.
Why she
Danny
keep saying
has
Danny
know.
has been?
Danny has been
Like
bitten.
she's
It's
made
like
it a
it's my
name now, a
nickname.
title.
Danny
Has been.
bitten by a KZOK listener. Congratulations there, Michael. You are going to Steely Dan, the Doobie Brothers, Key Arena, June 5th. You're headed to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up your tickets. The rest of you join us again tomorrow at 7:20 to win.
This traffic report is brought to you by Muckleshoot Bingo. In Renton on I-405 northbound at Highway 515, we do have an accident blocking the left lane. And in Tukwila on 405 southbound just north of I-5, there was an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you're still seeing some minor delays. Fridays are red hot at Muckleshoot Bingo. That's right, win an additional cash bonus. Fridays are red hot at Muckleshoot Bingo, the destination for Machingo. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Love is forever, and only one jeweler in town has engagement rings and wedding bands with superior quality that are made to last a lifetime, and they stand behind the quality forever. That's Shane Company. You need to see their latest collection. They're vintage-inspired rings, and they're absolutely beautiful. Is it time to get engaged? Are you ready to pop the question? You need to get to Shane Company. If you've already done that and you're ready for the wedding bands, well, they've got a beautiful collection of those as well. Really unique, really beautiful, and only at Shane Company. They pride themselves on their craftsmanship, but also on having very unique designs. They're also really prideful about having the best customer service. People rave about the uniquely personal, attentive, patient customer service at Shane Company. You're going to get the best value, the most beautiful diamonds, and have a really comfortable buying experience at Shane Company. They will treat you right. You need to get to the store in Linwood or shop online at shaneco.com. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Walgreens. It's 44 and cloudy in Seattle, highs in the low 50s today, and more showers coming in around noon. When is the best time for a cold? Never. Luckily, Walgreens is right around the corner with the right relief fast. Brands like Mucinex last for 12 hours. Swing by your local Walgreens today and start feeling better. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Now to Danny and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
Stay with us because coming up, it's the big news of the day.
Some of the big stories. Well, it's not Donald Trump. It's a politician whose actions has everyone talking, though. The Tide Challenge has taken a really disturbing twist. Yes, it got worse. And a man who loves sushi has a terrible side effect that you need to hear about.
Stay tuned because it's huge and you don't know about it. It's the big news of the day and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online to goldbergjones.com.
Utah Senator Orrin Hatch made big news for what he did before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Did he toot? No.
Oh.
Or was that just you tooting?
He might have done that too.
He might have.
His name's Orrin. He's got to be 100.
Orrin Hatch was talking to people. He had papers in front of him. Was surrounded by a lot of different people, and he looked up and removed invisible glasses.
I'm not sure what's happening.
What? He reached to his face and took his glasses off and then set them down on the table in front of him, but he wasn't wearing glasses.
Okay, that's super weird.
Right? It is, yeah.
It's so weird.
And have you seen the pictures of it?
We've seen the whole video. It's
yeah.
up now at KZOK.com. If you haven't seen it, go to KZOK.com. But the video is everywhere. It's a meme. Everybody is either making fun of him or like making light of it. He took off glasses, put them down, but he's not wearing glasses.
Okay, see, I have done stuff like that for effect, I think.
Yeah.
Where you say something you think is scholarly or whatever, and you want to show people you think, so you take off your, and maybe, I think there's gestures you do. I haven't seen it, so I don't fully understand, because if it's not something like that, Orrin's crazy.
It's almost like...
It's very bizarre.
It is very bizarre. It doesn't look like it was done to make a point. It's as if he forgot he wasn't wearing his glasses, and then instead of looking embarrassed, he went through the motion and
Right.
hoped that nobody noticed.
Yeah, I've done the reach for the glasses on the face thing, but when he takes them and sets them in front of him on the
Yeah.
table, that's the part that goes just across the line.
I've done the where the hell are my glasses and they're on my head.
Yeah.
But that's different. That's odd.
Super weird. You can see it at KZOK.com. The Tide Pod Challenge is one of the stupidest trends out there for the moment. We were talking about it earlier this week. It's people eating the laundry detergent pods because they look like a colorful, fruity snack.
But they're not eating it because it looks like a snack. That's what you worry about your babies. They're eating it to be stupid on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's because they look delicious. And
They do look delicious. I will give you that. If they were a fruit, I would buy them.
Yeah.
There is a new Instagrammer that has taken it to the next level. The Tide Pod. The guy punctures it, squeezes out the goo from inside, and then vapes it.
And then does he take off his invisible glasses? What the hell is happening here?
Everyone's gone insane.
It looks like he's in pain. It doesn't look fun. Doctors say you can burn your skin, your eyes, your lungs. This will ruin your respiratory tract, burn your esophagus. Do not do it.
You don't have to worry about it killing too many brain cells because the people that are doing this don't have very many brain
Right.
cells left.
You know, and I don't want anybody to go in pain, but I don't mind if that guy goes. If you,
Yeah.
if you
So dumb.
purposely pop one of those Tide balls and then vape it, and you think you need the warning that might be bad for your respiratory system, I don't
Yeah.
care about that guy.
You know, doctors and Procter & Gamble once again urging people to stop.
Also, I think the parking attendant said that's a bad idea. Oh yeah, everybody said that's a bad idea.
Are they going to have to change the product, like the coloring and the packaging of the product?
You know, they already did because it was so pretty that kids were getting at it. So
Yeah.
they did change the packaging of the outside, but I don't know how you change the product itself because people love them.
Yeah, and they're taking out the artificial colors of stuff. What is it? Leprechaun cereal? What is that?
Lucky Charms?
Lucky Charms. Aren't they taking the colors out of Lucky Charms?
Yeah, most of those cereals
Terrible,
are.
terrible idea. I need it to be a fluorescent green or I'm not eating it.
They just put the colors back into Trix. I was at the store yesterday, and they're like advertising on the box bright new colors because they looked all like brownish gray
Yeah,
for a while.
But they did, and I was not happy about it because I'm a big fan of Trix. Too good for kids, whatever that slogan is. But are they fake colors again? Are they artificial colors? Or are they going? Is it beets and stuff?
I haven't tasted it yet, so I don't know if the taste is back.
but I mean, are they being?
It's supposed to be beets and
Is
stuff.
it supposed to be beets
Yes.
and
Beets
stuff?
and
They go-
bugs.
Well, it was good enough for 2,000 years, but you know
Yeah.
we've come a long way. I got a thing called RIT. I'm all about dyeing my cereal.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this story might ruin your next sushi meal. A Fresno man who
Fresno ruins my next sushi meal.
he enjoyed eating raw salmon, as many of us do. When you go to a sushi restaurant, you look around, tons of people are eating raw salmon.
Yeah.
He loved to eat it, but he had to be taken to the emergency room to be treated for worms
Yeah.
after making a gross discovery, a tapeworm. He discovered it because he had gone in to use the bathroom, and the tapeworm, he actually has it 5.5 feet long.
Well, everything about this is gross.
Oh. He has it as in he kept it?
Well, it didn't stay in the body.
Yeah.
Some of it did. What
Right.
came out was 5.5 feet.
Jeez.
He was taken to the hospital, and the man told the doctors he ate raw sushi every day.
How the hell does he afford it?
He said that he hadn't been out of the country. This was here. It's Japanese tapeworms in Pacific caught salmon.
I got to tell you this, and I won't be doing it anymore. I went to a famous Japanese market here in the great state of Washington, here in Seattle.
Yeah.
And twice Amy gets these things called something collars. Kama collars, whatever they are. They're a part of a piece of fish. Yes, kama collar or common, whatever. They're a piece of the fish near the gill. And both times we brought it home, it had visible worms on it. Once you got it like ready to cook, it had visible worms all over it. And she looked it up, and it said, "Oh no, they'll all die when you cook this. Just cook it
I'll
through
pass.
it." Now pass. I'm done.
Dad,
now.
don't take that risk.
But now I wonder, my favorite sushi restaurant in Seattle is Umi Sake House.
Yeah, I was just there. It's great.
And Matt loves the collar. And you get, typically it's tuna or you can get salmon collar, but I think it's hama. Either way, we get it all the time. What if that had bugs on it and it get cooked off? We
Now,
don't see it raw.
I think that passes regulations. I think that's actually officially okay.
Ew.
Yeah, full on you.
Well, on that note, now that we've ruined your breakfast, we'll wrap up the big news of the day. It's brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online, goldbergjones.com.
And coming up, go nowhere, my friends, because it's Sarah's Filthy Forecast.
With your filthy forecast. Oh, you 812, meaty, beady, big and bouncy. Come on, Eileen. That's just some of the music we listened to yesterday. A rainy day makes Vanessa sway. Oh, my neighbor. Oh, we had a dance party because it was so wet. Oh, so much rain. And today, more of the same. Can you handle it? Such a stormy, wet weather slapping you silly. And quite the beaver tail perched right overhead. This busty storm front stays with us through the weekend. Dance off, pants off. Could use another contestant. See you later. With the best weather front in Seattle, I'm Sarah.
Oh, you 812. That's neat. I remember that. That was very clever. Hey, that was Sarah's Filthy Forecast, and you're going to dig this if you're here around the same time tomorrow morning. If you can tell us where Sarah's Beaver's been, you're going to win a pair of tickets to see Blue Oyster Cult, and they are coming to the EQC.
This traffic report is brought to you by Walgreens. In Seattle on I-90 eastbound at Rainier Avenue, we do have a disabled vehicle partially blocking a couple lanes. And on I-405 southbound at 167, also an accident there, currently blocking the right lane. When is the best time for a cold? Never. Luckily, Walgreens is right around the corner with the right relief fast. Brands like Mucinex last for 12 hours. Swing by your local Walgreens today and start feeling better. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Hey, it never hurts to have a little more cash in your hands. And whether you put that cash towards buying a home, paying down debt, or a vacation, that's up to you. But a great way to ramp up savings in this new year is to take cash out of your home's equity. It's time to reach out to American Financing. With a cash out refinance, you have access to significant amounts of money that can help cover the costs of life. You can call and talk to one of their salary based mortgage experts who are going to help you with the loan or the refinance that's right for you. American Financing. If you're interested in refinancing the first home, your second home, whatever it is for you, just reach out to American Financing. Oh, and with them, no upfront fees. That's really big. It's a family-owned business. That's one of the things I like about American Financing. They have been in business since 1999. Plus, they have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Yeah, the BBB loves American Financing. Call 206-204-3200 or americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334.
You know, in the land of technology in which we live, there are apps everywhere you go, and they do nothing and they don't get you anything. Our app does stuff. It's the iHeartRadio app, and thanks to iHeartRadio app, you never have to miss a minute of us, KZOK. Stay connected, listen anywhere, anytime. Plus, the iHeartRadio app allows you to create personalized stations. Dig that, tailored to your specific taste. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free right at your app.
Everybody this week has been talking about the poor man who had been sneezing wrong and blew a hole into his esophagus.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people didn't realize there was a right or wrong way to sneeze. You discovered this week, Danny, you have been sneezing wrong your whole life.
My whole life. And you know, I had an inkling. I had a feeling that I might not be doing that right.
Because you'd never heard of anyone else doing it the same way.
Well, you could feel it. You could feel that, like, this isn't a completely natural thing when you go, chew, because, you know, sometimes you don't make it. You have to think about, I'm going to sneeze and make very little noise here. You have to plan your attack on that. When I would sneeze regularly, I think, that doesn't hurt my ears, that doesn't hurt my sinuses, so I knew something was up, but now I know for sure.
Well, doctors say holding in your sneeze is actually very dangerous because obviously something needs to come out, and that can come out at 100 miles per hour.
Right.
Your sneeze, and so you hold that in, it can then do that speed in your throat.
Right.
So your technique was to blow all the air out of your lungs out and then sneeze, but nothing really can come out.
And it's hard to hold the air out from getting in. Like, you go, and then you have to go to try and keep air from going back in, because if you fill your lungs with air, it's going to be a big sneeze again. I think it comes from trying not to make any noise.
Yeah.
So much effort, though,
Yeah,
to
it's
just
a lot of
not
effort.
sneeze.
I remember the first time I heard Danny sneeze, and it was like, it was this weird, like,
Yeah,
tiny,
it is,
itty
like a
bitty little
chirp.
sound.
But there was like 30 seconds of craziness immediately before that.
And after.
Yeah.
And then another couple hours.
But do you admit now that you have discovered you sneeze wrong?
Yeah, no, there's no two ways about it. Felt wrong, and now that I've heard this story, I believe it is wrong. You know what I did? This is a much more minor thing, and it doesn't have to do with your health. Before backup cameras, how do you back out of, say, let's just say a straight driveway? What do you do?
I look over my right shoulder.
Done. I was looking over my left shoulder the whole time. It's totally stupid.
Yeah,
But Amy said you're
that's, like,
looking
hard
over
to do. You're gonna hurt your neck.
Amy said you're looking over the wrong shoulder, and I said, "There's no wrong shoulder. I got two of them.
Yeah,
One's
there
on
is.
more right, and there it is. There's a wrong shoulder."
Yeah.
And the second I turned my head to the right, and I went, "Oh, you can see the whole world. Dude. I've
Yeah.
been doing this wrong this whole time."
Also, the traffic that you're gonna hit first is
Yep.
coming from that direction.
Yep. Thank
Oh,
God
funny.
for backup cams, because I've been doing it wrong.
So Danny discovered he is not only sneezing wrong, he has been trying to go in reverse wrong his whole life.
Looking over the wrong shoulder, totally. Because, you know, a guy like me, you got to look over your shoulder every now and again. But I was looking over the wrong one.
And when he backed up while sneezing, it was just a total mess.
I hate sneezing while driving. How
It's
do
the
people
worst. Your
do
eyes
this?
close.
Well, you guys listening, what did you discover you were doing wrong? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025.
So it has come to our attention that there's a guy who's been sneezing his whole life. I mean, breaks in between, but he's been sneezing his whole life. It turns out he's doing it wrong. Blew out his esophagus. And the question was, what have you discovered that you have been doing wrong? And I admitted this one, and I felt weird when I learned it because I Googled it and stuff too because I thought you could pick. What's the difference? I've been totally looking over the wrong shoulder when backing up.
Yeah.
You look over your right, you turn in. It seems counterintuitive, but I've been doing it wrong.
It's weird because you do stuff like that, and you don't even realize that you're doing it wrong. It's how you've always done it.
Right, and I don't know if it's going to be like sneezing, but in this case, the second I turned to the right shoulder thinking this does not matter, you could tell, oh man, I've been doing this wrong forever. This is the right way. You can feel it when it's the right way. Yeah.
What did you discover you were doing wrong? You can share. Call us at 800-252-1025. We've all done it. The sneezing wrong is actually dangerous for you.
Right.
A lot of people try to hold in their sneezes and they say absolutely do not. Derek discovered this morning that he has been doing something wrong for years now.
You might want to narrow that field a little bit.
Pronouncing guar wrong.
Gwr?
There's actually a few things I've been told I've pronounced wrong lately. How do you guys say bagel?
Not like that.
So apparently that's wrong.
I have to identify that that's even a word, so I go, oh, you mean bagel?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say, what do you call the round, delicious dough that people cut in half and eat at breakfast?
Yeah, a bagel.
A donut.
A bagel.
A bagel?
Bagel.
A bagel?
I'm sorry. That's the way I talk.
You should be sorry.
Derek also pronounces the word funny that you would say clip it out of the newspaper and hand it to the cashier at the checkout counter.
Coupon.
A coupon.
A coupon.
Coupon.
So when you say funny.
What have you discovered you were doing wrong? Join the conversation at 800-252-1025.
If memory serves, Tori says often.
I do. I pronounce the T.
Yeah, I'm against you
that's
completely.
wrong.
You've been doing it wrong.
Why? There is a T in it.
Because I'm way bigger
There's
than you.
a K in knife.
Yeah, if you say knife.
I should now.
This is embarrassing, but I discovered not too long ago that I was brushing my teeth wrong. Do you remember when you were brushing your teeth? Probably as a kid, we all did it this way. You just go. How would I explain this motion?
You'd go straight
back and forth.
back and forth, not up
Side-
and down.
Yeah. Well,
And
you're
not a circle.
You're supposed to do it in a circle.
Right.
Do you know, I have such ridiculously small teeth. I've had them built up now, so they're a little bigger. But I have such small teeth that back and forth works for me. There's no room. There's no room for up and down. Like you try and do up and down, you're just kind of sitting still. So I have to go back and forth.
It is supposed to be a circular motion. And a lot of people have pointed out to me that I chew what they believe is wrong, that I chew funny. And I think it's just that I look funny when I'm doing it.
I think, you know what, when I was getting a divorce, and I think she just said this to be mean, but, topics came up from the past.
Sure,
and she
people
said,
get nasty.
by the way, that thing that you do, you totally do that wrong, and I don't even enjoy it. Oh. Man, is that going to be an around-the-clock thing that, like, I've been just totally doing that wrong in general?
That's pretty mean.
Yeah, and it
That's
also seems
low
like
blow.
really hard to, the directions on that are fairly easy.
What did you discover that you were doing wrong at 800-252-1025? Paul, what was it for you?
For some reason, for most of my life, when I would make my bed or if I would sleep in a bed that someone else had made, there'd be a fitted sheet, and then there's that top flat sheet.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would tuck that underneath the pillows, and then I would sleep on top of that with just a comforter over the top of me. So for some reason, I didn't know the sheet was supposed to go
No, she goes.
on top of you.
But you know what? That's not the world's end there, my
No,
friend.
that's
because
weird, Danny.
No, because beds aren't always made with that other sheet, are they? They're made with the fitted sheet and then a blanket on top.
Sometimes it's a duvet.
Then you don't get a choice in that matter.
I thought that was just like for show. It's like the fancy
Oh,
sheet
honey.
on the top. And when I say for most of my life, I mean like for most of my life.
Until you got
like,
married.
Yeah. And then it was like, well, what are you doing?
That's really bizarre. So you found out that you were sleeping wrong.
Yeah, I was sleeping wrong, yeah.
Dave in Federal Way, what did you discover you were doing wrong?
Half the day from Guam, guys.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Morning.
Hey, a few years ago, I found out I was using number 2 wrong. You were supposed to courtesy flush after you drop the first load.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Dave. Now I'm going to courtesy hang up on you. By the way, I've never even heard that expression until Austin Powers.
Courtesy
it's
flush,
in there.
yeah.
Hey, buddy, what about a courtesy flush? I never heard such a thing.
I like it, though.
But I like that Dave calls up our radio station to make
We love Hoppa Dave, but he's
I
definitely
don't love him that much. I think he's all right.
He's been getting a little gross lately.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of number 2 talk from Hoppa Dave.
So much number 2, it's like 8.
Yeah.
Pat on Camino Island, what did you discover you were doing wrong?
Oh, hi. Yes, peeling bananas.
No, you're supposed to peel the banana.
Yes, you are. People don't do it though. But is there a right and wrong way to peel a banana?
Top down, and you're actually supposed to peel the banana from the bottom up. If you watch primates do it, other primates do it, they do it the right way.
Really?
Yeah,
if you watch primates drive my car, you go, that's crazy. They shouldn't know how to drive a car. They're a primate.
It actually makes perfect sense, though, because if you do it from the bottom to the top, then you actually have a more to hold on to.
Okay.
You have a handle.
Ooh, question. What makes the bottom the bottom? What if I turn it upside down?
Pat, can you answer that question?
Who says what's the bottom of a banana? Wrong way, but you're wrong totally.
He's not wrong. She's not wrong. Pat's not wrong.
You might be wrong.
Somebody's wrong for sure.
You take the stem and you crack it backwards, and then you peel the banana.
No, because then you get it all smushy.
How do you open it then? The bottom.
A knife. I do a
No,
knife.
no.
You don't ever need a knife for a banana.
You can peel it with your fingers. I've seen people do it. I still
With
don't
your
think
what?
it's the
Do you
right
go,
way.
oh, well, they're
Fingers?
stupid?
Yeah, I do. I say they're stupid, and they say, "Well, monkeys do it that way." And
Well, let's do it the way the monkeys do it.
right, exactly.
I do a lot of things the way the monkeys do it.
Did you know my ass turns red during mating season?
Oh.
It's weird.
I did know that. You sent me pictures, oddly
I
enough.
have.
I don't want to go down the route of Hapa Dave, but
Yeah,
something I learned that I didn't know before I started working with you people that there even was a right and wrong way to hang the toilet paper.
Oh,
yeah.
Right there. I have
Let
it written
alone
down.
that I was
Absolutely.
doing it wrong.
Over the top.
It's got to be
Yeah, I
over the
went-
top or it's
No,
wrong.
it just means to wear like a green and festive suit and be over the top.
Yeah, I just did it. I didn't make like any big
no,
production.
it's
I
got
just
to be
put it
over the
on there.
top.
Got to be over the top, man.
That's
I
crazy.
always
Amy
went
and I
under.
fought about that because I told her it was important.
Yeah.
I guess she thought I was kidding, and I said, well, I am not.
Tori, you pronounced the word often wrong, but is there something else you discovered you were doing wrong?
Okay, so I hate using tinfoil because it always falls out of the box and I never really know how to rip it apart. So they have that serrated edge, but there's also tabs on the sides so it doesn't fall out. You're supposed to punch them in. Did you know that?
Did you know, I find this kind of humorous. I think she means cellophane.
No,
Saran wrap.
No, she means
Aluminum foil.
tinfoil.
I think you're right, though. I think it's for both of them. But seriously, I never knew how to do that.
Because the aluminum foil, you just break up and make it new again. The saran wrap stuff, once you wrinkle it, it's done for life.
Yeah, it's
But now I need to go home and look at it because I don't know what she's talking about with the tabs that actually connect into something.
Yeah, you punch them in and then the actual roll will stay in place.
Oh my gosh, I've been using tinfoil wrong my
Totally
entire
wrong
life.
way. And I've mostly been using it to make pipes, which apparently is also the wrong way to go about using it.
In Renton on I-405 southbound at Highway 167, we have an accident currently blocking the right lane. And in Seattle on I-90 eastbound at Rainier Avenue, there's a disabled vehicle currently blocking the two right lanes. This report was brought to you by the Washington Sportsman Show. If you enjoy the great outdoors, you need to make your way to the Washington Sportsman Show January 24th through the 28th at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Big selection, great deals, free parking. Visit thesportsshows.com. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino. It is 44 and partly cloudy in Seattle right now. Highs in the low 50s today and a chance of heavy showers this afternoon. Win your share of nearly $50,000 in tech prizes with Muckleshoot Casino's Tech Hot Card. Just use your Players Club card every Thursday in January between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. for a chance to win. Visit muckleshootcasino.com for details. Now back to Danny and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
A 37-year-old Tukwila man has been charged with murder after his cousin's remains were found in a suitcase outside a Tukwila apartment complex. Rosalio Ramos was charged yesterday in the death of Pedro Venegas Romas. The brother of Rosalio Ramos called 911 after the remains had been discovered. He said his brother had been suffering mental health difficulties and may have killed someone. Police arrived at the scene and said that the human remains were found in a suitcase. Prosecutors now say Ramos stabbed Venegas Ramos multiple times and then attempted to completely dismember him. They were able to use fingerprints on the body to match it, and
Well, doesn't it still look like the guy?
they were able to use fingerprints to make sure it was absolutely him because he did dismember him and put him in a suitcase.
That all the parts that were in there were from the same person.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, why do you need fingerprints when the guy's head's looking right at you? But yeah, that guy could have stuffed other people in there. You don't know.
Sadly, I don't even think this is the first time that we've reported on
is not.
in Tukwila in a suitcase.
In a suitcase.
Yeah.
You're right. A Thai restaurant at a Federal Way strip mall was evacuated after a man with a gun entered and refused to leave. The man was arrested after he smashed through a wall into an adjoining store and became trapped. So this happened about 9 at night. Employees of this restaurant at Pho Thai called 911 and said there's a man here with a gun and he is refusing to leave. The caller to 911 said that the man was acting paranoid, hadn't threatened anybody, but was making everybody
I disagree.
uneasy.
You come into my store with a gun and don't leave, I feel threatened. You
Yeah.
threatened everybody.
Well, then he smashed into the wall, got trapped inside the store next door, which happened to be a Sprint store. Police surrounded the complex, were able to talk him out of using his weapon, and were able to arrest him without further incident. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have agreed to pay off Nigeria's $76 million debt to Japan in an effort to fight polio.
I was actually just going to pay that off myself. The prince had contacted me via email.
I'm gonna do my Visa and MasterCharge first, and then I'm gonna pay off Nigeria's debt.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? How do you cure polio by paying off their debt?
Nigeria took a loan from Japan 4 years ago to help pay for polio eradication efforts. They were supposed to start repaying payments this year over the next 20 years. So they asked for help. They said, we have polio. We need to get rid of polio. And Japan said, we'll loan you the money. And they have no money to pay them back now, would like to keep fighting polio. So Bill and Melinda Gates said, we got you covered.
Oh, I say repossess. I'm sorry, man. That's it. Gary, here's your crutches.
But what are you going to do with a polio-ridden Nigeria?
Almost the exact same thing I do with Nigeria now. I'm going to ignore it until they send me an email.
Yeah, it's sad to think that polio is still prevalent around the world.
Wow.
Thanks to Bill and Melinda Gates, they helped India eradicate polio back in 2011.
That's such a big deal. Can you imagine being the guy who said, oh, yeah, that country, they don't have polio anymore because I exist. Shouldn't whittle it down. That's stupid. They should actually pick.
Yeah.
Amazon announced this morning they have the list of possible homes for its second headquarters. It is down to 20. Now, there are some that people assumed would have made the cut and some who didn't that people thought would. And then there are some surprises. It leans towards locations in the Midwest and the South and on the East Coast. There are no hubs in the West Coast because they've already got
Because we got us.
Well, it's
So
also,
they said no to Tacoma and Everett and
Yep.
everybody else who wanted it.
yeah, they have.
That's a final no?
Yeah, so I'll read you the whole list. But the problem with the West Coast is that it's tech heavy, period. So you've got Palo Alto, you've got San Francisco, you've got Seattle, Bellevue. They said, okay, enough. We need to spread the love. So we have got Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Chicago, Columbus, which was a surprise, Dallas, Denver, Indianapolis, Miami, Montgomery County, Maryland, Nashville, Newark, New York, Northern Virginia, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Raleigh, Toronto, and D.C.
All right, I agree. Like 3 of them. Boston would be good. Chicago would be good. The rest of this place are stupid.
I think I've got everybody there covered.
Atlanta wouldn't surprise me.
Atlanta wouldn't surprise me.
They did get bids from Mexico and Canada. They did not. They are not going to take
You'd
those.
get so beat up by our here president that we got going on if you thought you were going to move Amazon to Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never hear the end of it.
I still don't know when they're going to make the final decision, but at least it's giving some notice to the cities that we're kind of hoping. Like some of the cities in
Right.
Arizona, some of the other places are like, okay, it's not going to happen. What's going to be next for
You know,
us?
on more than one occasion early on in a date, a girl has said to me, by the way, there's no way we're having sex. And even though I didn't love it, I think that's what's happening here. That they're setting out the list. Hey, we're Amazon. And by the way, we're not. You're not getting anything at the end of this.
Yeah.
I think everybody feels better.
Terrible story out of Germany. The Auschwitz Museum is calling this incident outrageous and unacceptable. A dozen people showed up. This happened a little while ago, but has just now started to make big news because of the injury.
I can tell I'm going to be mad.
Guilty of profanity by a Polish court. Now,
I'm less mad than I thought I was going to be, but I'm
Really?
certainly perplexed.
Yeah.
Well, you know, showing up and doing anything and doing graffiti and stuff, and people go, "Hey, did you know you're at Auschwitz?" And then I want those people arrested and neutered and horrible things to happen. to
Yeah.
them. But these guys look like they knew. Oh, yeah, we're doing this at Auschwitz
And that's
on
why.
purpose
Yeah.
to try and make a point of view. And now look at this dead sheep. Now you do all that. I hate you. But I don't hate you for the same reasons I would have hated you before. I don't hate you for the same graffiti on the gates of Auschwitz. Then you need
Right.
to go to jail for 100 years.
But does it make you want less or more war in Ukraine?
It makes you want lamb, which is
Yeah,
interesting. Little
me
jelly,
too,
that green
yeah.
jelly.
Lyft.
You're not just going to leave that lamb there, are you guys? Put on some pants and let's discuss this.
Lyft and Uber, very successful ride-sharing programs. And now Lyft announced you can get a beer on them. A Lyft-branded beer. And if you buy this beer, you can get a discount on a ride home. They're starting this off in Chicago with a Chicago brewery. And I saw the cans. I mean, it says Lyft and then the Barter Brewing Company. But Lyft beer, and then on the can is a code that you can use to get a discount on your ride home so you don't drink and drive.
Here's the question now. Can you drink in the back of an Uber?
No, I don't think so. You can't. At least here in Washington, you can't have an open container in the car, whether you're the driver or passenger.
But like, for example, you'd think that stands true to RVs.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You
Really?
can drink in an RV. You can drink in a moving RV.
Wow.
You can't be the driver, but because that's registered as a domicile and you can drink in it. So I was wondering, since this thing's registered as it won't be driven by the people in the back, I wonder if you could drink in an Uber. I mean, I don't care. I don't even
believe
drink.
so,
I
because-
don't believe so either, but I thought it was a cool question.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
Lyft branded beer, if it goes well in Chicago, they will try to roll it out into other locations. But it's supposed to, promote the company. You drink beer and then you don't drink and drive.
They've
thanks to
tried
Lyft.
fairly hard to promote that company and in ways that I think work. They, and I've been in Uber cars when they said, "Hey, are you signed up for Lyft? Sign up now, and we'll give you 27 free rides."
Yeah.
So they're trying.
Were they the mustache people?
Lyft, yeah.
Yeah.
And they still are, I think, in some ways. And now I saw there's a light on the dashboard that actually says Lyft. And I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. I think it's the most amazing technological thing that the car knows where I am. I don't have to put my exact address or anything. It's going to show up. Yet, why do I have to search for it on all 4 corners of the street? Why don't I have it like in the Lyft one? The Lyft one has a light on the dashboard that says Lyft. That's genius.
I have a brand new beer blog up at KZOK.com. It is not Lyft branded beer. I went to a Korean restaurant with Rick Jones.
Rick Jones.
You can see my beer blog right now at KZOK.com. And my beer blog has a proud sponsor, 210 Brewing Company at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. They brew some fantastic beer up there. We all know that traveling can be cumbersome.
Yes.
You got your bags. You then have your bag fees. You got to figure out, oh, shoot, I bought basic economy. I'm not allowed to bring a bag. Well, a lot of people are doing what they can to try to avoid those pesky bag fees. One man was flying British Airways from Iceland to London. He decided to put on all of his clothing. 8 pairs of pants and 10 shirts.
How long was he going to be gone? Because no, that's for 8 pairs of pants.
8 pairs of pants.
That's like 3 months.
I could do 2 pairs of jeans if I'm just wearing jeans for whatever vacation you've got planned.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Why do you need 8
8
pants
pairs of
for?
pants. What is he, a fashion model? And how is it that the 8th pair still fits? It can't be the same size as pair 1.
Yeah.
I think some of it wound up being tied around his waist, tied around his legs. He wore all of his shirts. I travel a lot. I don't think I've ever traveled with 8 pairs of pants before.
I certainly haven't. I think my wife overpacks. I could do any vacation with a backpack, and we go with 4 bags or whatever it is.
Well, he got into trouble. He was refused a boarding pass, and he threw a hissy fit and said that he's being profiled. But they said,
yeah, you're being profiled. You're the guy with 8 pairs of pants on. I think they should stop all people with 8 pairs of pants on. That's fair profiling.
There was an underwear bomber and there was a shoe bomber. There's no way I'm not thinking, well, this is the 8 pair of pants bomber. I can't get on.
Krispy Kreme, they make some delicious donuts. We had found out they had a special gingerbread glazed donut for Christmas just last month. And for St. Patrick's Day, they do green donuts. Makes perfect sense. But for this year, Krispy Kreme decided to let their fans pick the next limited edition glazed donut flavor. From now through the 22nd, you can vote. Here's what your options are.
All right.
Blueberry.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maple.
Yeah.
Yum.
Do they not have those already?
No, Krispy Kreme, when you go, like that big one down in
Soto or wherever.
Yes, in Soto, Georgetown, wherever exactly that location is. I'm pretty sure they've only got just a handful.
Yeah, because I originally thought it was just that one.
I thought it was
original
just one.
glazed donut.
That's
and
what they
then
make.
I feel like on the show we've talked about that they have other donuts, maybe only seasonally.
They're limited. Yeah, they're very limited edition. But
You
they
know who
said
has all sorts of different kinds of donuts? That Voodoo Donuts place in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. That
place is crazy.
That's crazy, though. What are you doing? Yak blood donuts. That doesn't sound good.
well, you can vote for your favorite Krispy Kreme, and they will roll that out. The winner will be announced next week.
Can I vote for Pedro? Because I've been doing it for like 15 years now, and I'm
Yeah.
not giving it up.
All right. Pedro flavored donut.
Yeah, you don't know.
Oh, gosh, you people.
What do you mean,
Many
you people?
people.
The personal assistant to a Goldman Sachs top executive has been accused of theft. Nicholas DeMeyer was arrested in Los Angeles for the theft of hundreds of bottles of very valuable wine that he had stolen over a 2-year period. The wine belongs to David Solomon, the president and chief operating officer of Goldman Sachs. So as you can imagine, he makes a lot of money. As you can also imagine, when you make that much money, you might not realize how many of your crazy overpriced bottles of red wine have been stolen.
Right.
So this guy stole $1.2 million worth of wine from his boss. The guy had no idea because this went on for 2 years. 7 bottles of Domaine de la Romanie Conti, which had been purchased for $133,000, and then just had no idea that
That's
the
crazy.
wine had been stolen.
And it's a big deal. I saw this whole report on fake wines that were forgeries and made up, and they weren't really 1972's. That's my French.
That's my favorite. Bleh.
It tastes just like it sounds.
Dennis Rodman, we talked about him a couple of days ago. He had been busted for DUI.
Right.
Yeah.
And his agent has now said he's going back to rehab.
Oh, that'll straighten him right up.
Yeah. He's going to lose his ambassadorship in North Korea.
But he
These places, first of all, nobody goes to Patterson, Jersey, and is thrilled about it right there.
Right, you don't want
Plus,
that to be your turning point.
They make you quit drinking on top of that. It's a nightmare. So I don't know that it's any worse than any others. I went in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I hated it. And then I went in Malibu, California, and I hated it. So maybe it's a rehab.
yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be fun.
Well, it was fun. There was a bunch of movie stars running around drunk and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Japanese train researchers have developed new technology they hope will scare animals away from railroad tracks.
Oh, good. That's something I think about, believe it or not, because I'm all in favor of those high-speed trains here in America.
Yeah.
But look around you outside, man. There's wilderness out our window.
Well, they're testing some of these out. They're trying to make sure deer especially seems to be one of the big problems. They have deer snorts and then recordings of...
That was a deer snort. That
No,
was tape.
It's the other. It's not an in. It's an out, and it's.
Yep, that's it. Deer snorts.
There you go, deer
It's
snort.
more like a big huff sound.
Yeah.
It's a crazy sound. But if the other deer hears that, then they'll run away because it's scary.
Right.
Then they have dog barks that will allegedly keep deer and other animals off the tracks.
And it's just constantly going on the train tracks?
Like, people aren't going to be too upset by that. They
Yeah,
already don't
right.
like living by the tracks.
What they've done so far is 3-second blarings of the deer snorts that sounded like what?
That's an actual recording of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then a 20-second recording of dog barks that those sound like this.
That was Donald Duck or Daffy Duck or one of the ducks.
You got to work on your dog bark,
my
man.
Dog. That's terrible.
A group of
Okay.
A group of 400 preschoolers in Turkey showed off their creativity. Why is that funny?
I met a group of 400 preschoolers in Turkey. It just sounds like this is going to go so sideways.
They walk into a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
They showed off their creativity by crafting a record-breaking piece of art. Students from the Villayeter Hizmeteler Bergelid kindergarten.
That cannot be in Turkey.
No, that sounded Swedish to me.
Oh, okay, so let me start over.
Oh, man.
Villayeter Hizmeteler Bergelid kindergarten.
Totally different.
Do you want to try?
Not a chance in the world.
So this is in Antakya. Wow, I can't pronounce things in Turkish very
It's
well.
in Turkey, though, right?
Yeah.
All right, Turkey. Guinness World Record for the world's largest fabric marbling painting.
That's a
Painting
thing?
made of marbles. The
Oh.
previous record was 145 feet by 5.
So what do they crush marbles and spread them around, or they just glue them onto black velvet?
It's the marbling is a process that creates an image using a cellulose solution and transferring it to the fabric. So called marbling.
But it
Okay.
doesn't have anything to do with marbles.
I don't think so.
And why don't they just make me an ashtray like normal kids do?
I wonder if I left my ashtray in the old studio. My son made me an
I
ashtray.
think you
remember?
did. Your
Yeah.
prized possession.
I'll get over it, though.
Jelly Bean never made me an ashtray. I don't think she loves me that much.
I don't think so either.
Well, you probably didn't smoke in her lifetime.
No, but and also I don't think they do that in school
I
anymore.
don't think they do.
Ceramics or ashtrays?
Ashtrays.
Oh, I think my ashtray is protected by my First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
My son can make me an ashtray if he wants.
That's probably a pretty bad example. If Jelly Bean goes to our class and they say, "All right, kid, you're 6 years old. Make an ashtray for your
Yeah.
dad."
She made a pretty crazy looking polar bear. She had a art camp and she made this clay polar bear. That's what she says it is, and I believe it. She's
What
very
color?
creative. There's white on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Also turquoise and purple.
Is there a horn?
No. So there was an antler, a single antler that broke
Okay.
off. I'm
so
not really
what
sure
you mean
why.
by this is a polar bear?
That's what she
Yeah.
says.
All polar bears have antlers.
One antler, just a single antler.
All
but
polar bears have antlers.
it broke off. She's very upset about it.
Well, why did you break her prized possession?
I don't know, because it wasn't an ashtray. I was
Right,
pissed.
exactly.
So confused. Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we've got music news. We have got great concert news for you coming to our area. You can win your way in. And of course, we'll talk about all things sports next.
This traffic report is brought to you by CHI Franciscan. On I-90 eastbound at Rainier Avenue, there was an earlier incident that has been cleared, but you are still seeing some minor delays. And also in downtown Seattle on 15th Avenue Northwest at 61st Street, we currently have an accident blocking the road as well. CHI Franciscan helps bring thousands of new family members into the Great Pacific Northwest every year with advanced maternity care and a wide range of birthing options tailored just for you. CHIFranciscan.org/women's. Northwest Healthy. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
It was raining cats and dogs last night. It woke me up in the middle of the night, so much rain. And then I promptly fell right back asleep. And that's because I use a MyPillow. It's the pillow that will change your life. It will help you get a good night's rest. Even if it's raining cats and dogs, even if the cat is sitting on your stomach trying to push on your bladder, you will get a better night's sleep thanks to MyPillow. And you've got just about 2 weeks left to take advantage of their buy one, get one free special. It's not going to last into February, so this is only going to last throughout January. So take advantage of this right now. Buy one MyPillow, get one free. The way to do this? Call 800-304-4756, 800-304-4756, and use promo code KZOK. You click on the buy one, get one free special and put in that promo code KZOK. Works on the website too. It's mypillow.com. Buy one MyPillow, get one free with promo code KZOK. You will love MyPillow. It is made in America. Buy one MyPillow, get one free at mypillow.com. from the Ataris as one of the 50 best pop punk albums of all time.
Yeah.
They were together for many, many years, and one of the former members is now being charged with fraud, real estate fraud, bilking hundreds of thousands from fans, 100,000 victims in all 50 states.
I'm a fan. What did he take from me?
I don't think he's very good with money.
No.
Because if you steal from hundreds of thousands of fans and you only get hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're stealing $1. And that
Yeah.
seems like a great deal of work.
No, he stole, I believe the total is something along the lines of $4 million.
That's better.
But he stole little bits from 100,000 people. This guy, I'm sorry, it's $27 million.
There we go.
was
Oh,
the
that's a little
total.
bit better. Yeah. He's a better criminal now.
He defrauded about 100,000 people in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. through a company he founded called American Standard. The American Standard would
Insurance
advertise.
American Standard?
He founded it, called it American Standard, which
This guy's got all sorts of problems as far as I'm concerned. You know, his what's his company called? American Standard. What's his band called? Atari.
Yeah.
I don't think he's either one of these things.
This company would advertise homes for sale below market value, put them on Craigslist. Interested customers had to pay $199 for a listing. They would then find out that that house does not exist or is not for sale. It was just a big
What
scam.
happens to a guy? Because what that is it's a crime that you can't continue. You have to get caught
Yeah,
at the
eventually,
end of
yeah.
that crime, and not even that far down the road. I mean, you're essentially caught at the end of every month, and the point is, how hard are they going to look for you, and how hard are they going to beat a track to your door? But it's weird what happens to a guy, because, I'd rob a bank. It's not smart or anything like that. You're probably going to get caught, but you're not definitely caught. On this one, you build a house, you sell a house that's not there, you're caught.
He was arrested and is now facing 30 years in prison for real estate scandal.
And are we
scam.
listening to Atari right now?
Yeah.
Ataris.
The
They're probably
Ataris.
best known for their cover of Boys of Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
sounds
huge,
familiar.
huge hit. A star-packed concert for George. The star-packed concert for George will be reissued and expanded just in time to commemorate the 75th anniversary of George Harrison's birth. It featured performances from friends and collaborators like Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Eric Clapton, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, Ravi Shankar, and more. This will be available as a 2 CD, a 2 CD plus DVD, Blu-ray combo, and these are beautiful. They said there's a deluxe box set with has tapestry, and it's supposed to be very
It was
ornate.
a good concert. I saw the concert. It was put on by his son, Danny, spelled in a real weird way, or Donnie. It's got an H in it. Whatever, George. But, some of the greats and near greats were up there on that stage celebrating George Harrison. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of the Beatles with the wife because she's a Maniac fan. Here's something I've been doing wrong, listening to the Beatles. Remember we were talking about what we've been doing wrong this whole time?
How could you do that wrong?
20% of the time I'm listening to the Beatles and it's another John Lennon. It's George. George sings all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he barely had that's why he was so mad about stuff. He sings all the time. He sings all the songs he wrote and sings some he didn't. So I've been listening to the Beatles wrong, thinking, oh, I recognize that. That's John Lennon.
This morning we made a huge concert announcement. The Dead and Company.
Yeah, huge.
Playing the Gorge, June 29th. And we have got your tickets before you can buy them all day tomorrow. Free Concert Friday.
Free Concert
Neat.
Friday.
Yeah, we got a lot of free tickets tomorrow.
Yeah,
Right?
we do. We have Blue
So-
Oyster Cult and the Beaver, $7.50 tomorrow.
The Beaver is not a concert.
No.
Blue Oyster Cult in the
In the
Beaver?
Beaver, yeah.
Ah, okay, there you go.
We've got Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers tickets, $7.20 tomorrow morning.
Stephen Stills is bringing his Light Up the Blues autism benefit back to Los Angeles this April. And this year's lineup will feature the Heartbreakers playing without late frontman Tom Petty. It'll also bring Neil Young and Stephen Stills back together again. Now, Neil Young has a son that was diagnosed with autism many, many years ago, and this benefit started to try to help that campaign. So they're still friends.
Well, they shouldn't be.
It's Bill. I almost said Bill Cosby. It's Crosby that is not friends with him.
Oh, okay. I knew it was somebody in that
Yep.
group.
They're still friends. Stephen Stills did not make fun of Neil Young's girlfriend.
Everybody has made fun of Neil Young's girlfriend. It's Daryl Hannah. How do you not make fun of the lady in Flash that's missing or Splash rather that's missing one of her fingers?
Tickets for this year's Light Up the Blues is going to be April 21st, and they are available through Ticketmaster. We talked earlier in the week about Stranger Things star David Harbour.
He was holding that girl's trombone. Right?
That's what I heard.
Yep. This girl, high school girl, had asked him to take her high school photos with her, and he said, if you get enough retweets, then yes, I will do it. And he did. He was a great sport. We posted those pictures at KZOK.com. Now, he's older. He's not like a lot of the people in Stranger Things are young kids. I know you don't watch that show, Danny. But it's got Winona Ryder. It's got Sean
She's not a
Astin.
kid.
Yeah, she's
not a kid.
I'm saying other than the kids.
Okay.
It's got Winona Ryder. It's got Sean Astin and David Harbour. So it's not like he's a new actor. He's been struggling and he's been working for a long time. He's got a ton of fans. Now, somebody on Twitter said, what would it take to get David Harbour to be the officiant at my wedding in September?
25 grand.
Yeah.
He responded, 125,000 retweets. Provide a date that works with shooting of Stranger Things Season 3. I will get ordained. I will perform the ceremony. But I get to read an esteemed love letter of my choosing. And after the cake is officially cut, I get the first piece.
All right.
All right, he's still having fun with it because this guy's got to be getting bombarded
I
with
heard
this
that
kind of crap.
traditionally the groom gets the first piece, but I guess I'm wrong with that. I thought that was a thing.
I don't know if it's the bride or the groom. I've never really paid
But he
attention.
wants to break tradition either way.
Oh, yeah. And as of yesterday, last time I checked, it was already beyond the halfway point.
Oh, wow.
So,
I'll retweet it.
I mean, you know, Danny, a lot of people have asked you to officiate their wedding.
I've married at least 24 people in my days.
But that was people you were getting married to, though.
You were at my last wedding, right?
I was at the last wedding you officiated.
Right.
Yes. And I mean, people love it. So if people are huge fans of Stranger Things, he's being a good sport.
He is being a good sport. I would, to make all this fuss, I've never heard of this guy. It's like a celebrity should be universal. Like, The Rock is going to marry us if we do this. That's a thing. Guy's named Harbour. Who cares?
That show is so huge, though, right now.
Stephen King wants to
Winona
help.
Ryder stole my heart.
Yeah, that's not all she stole.
Stephen King says he wants to help a fellow Mainer who is a guy who lost everything in a flooding of his bookstore. So Stephen King, still lives in Maine. He is very proud to live in Maine and support it. He supports the sports programs that are up there. He does everything he can. Maine?
Terrible.
It's a wonderful
Terrible
place in the summer.
Right. See?
On your private island with your butler.
So this guy named Gerald Winters had a bookstore in Bangor, and he had rare books, he had regular books, he had first editions. There was a flood, and all his books got ruined. Well, he found out about this and says he is going to do what he can to give him first editions of his own, give him anything else that he can get his hands on. This guy spent 20 years collecting rare Stephen King books, and now Stephen King says he's going to help.
Oh, it's an adorable story.
Yeah. On to Angela Lansbury.
And who hasn't done that?
Come on, show her some respect. I mean, rest in peace. Doesn't that mean
Hey,
anything to anybody
Stop
anymore?
killing Angela Lansbury. She's 92.
Wow. Is
She
as old as sliced bread? I don't think she is.
That's older than sliced bread, right?
No.
Because I thought Betty White was only 86.
Betty White's older than
96.
sliced bread. She's 96 years
Oh,
old.
yeah. Well, does it make it any better that, Angela Lansbury's been dead 3 years now. So.
I think that changes things.
All right, Angela Lansbury, she actually has a new role. She'll be playing Aunt March in the new PBS adaptation of Little Women.
How are you going to march when you've been dead for 3 years?
Hey.
A weird question.
She's also pretty tech savvy, and she gave a Q&A session with younger people, which isn't hard to do because everybody's younger than Angela Lansbury.
Right.
Some people asked her what it was like, what advice would you give to people? And she told a story about going up for a casting call and was late. And somebody said, "How dare you be late? How dare you keep casting waiting? Never be late for anything ever."
By the way, I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why be late? Don't be late. Although I've got friends that are afraid of me now. Because I've mentioned on the show how appalled I am by people who are late.
Oh.
And my friends on Mercer Island, they're like kind of my only new friends outside this radio show. And every time we go anywhere, if they're 1 second late, hey, we're really sorry. It's like, hey, I wasn't being that serious about it. Just make time for traffic.
She also said for people who want to become actors, it's very important to get out of yourself and get into character. Leave yourself at home. So, some of the actors you hate who want to be in role all the time, she says it's actually very smart.
Crap and your friend more crap. I think it's all crap. Although one of the guys that does it and goes deep into character and stays there, what's the guy who played Batman?
Christian Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale's got a new movie out called Hostel.
Mm-hmm.
I totally want to see that. And he looks like he's over the top crazy acting, but I really want to see it.
It looks great.
Looks great.
All last year, Sylvester Stallone was enthusiastically teasing that Creed 2 would be connected to Rocky 5. 4? 5. What's
Can't be
IV?
4. 4 is terrible.
What's IV?
4.
That's 4.
Okay,
Isn't that the
Rocky
bad
5.
one where he fights with Tommy Morrison in the street?
I
Yeah, I
know
think
that
so.
it's Ivan Drago.
Oh, no, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Drago?
It's Drago, right?
I've never seen any of these Rockies. I apologize.
Oh,
I
you're
saw the
missing
Never
first
seen
one.
any of the
I saw the
Rockies?
First
You're
one.
not even American.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. So what's his name?
Ivan Drago?
Ivan Drago. They have spoken out about this new one, Creed 2, and we found out the connection to Ivan Drago is Ivan Drago Jr. He will be fighting Apollo, and Romanian boxer Florian Munteanu has
Wait, who's fighting Apollo?
Ivan Drago Jr.
His kid. A
Who's
character.
Is there someone named Apollo in the? Because I saw it and I can't remember now.
Drago's dad killed Apollo's dad in
Right.
the ring.
Oh, so Apollo's still a guy. The kid's name is Apollo. That's
yes,
what I was asking.
everybody's junior.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's just junior. And so they've decided that this is the way to kind of keep it with the originals
Okay. You know what?
Is the one kid going to kill the other kid?
in the ring. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Creed 2, November 21st. The 2018 iHeartRadio Music Awards is the award show you control. It is happening Sunday, March 11th from the Forum in LA. Your songs, your artists, your awards, and tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. It will be spectacular. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY, 1-800-DUI-AWAY. As we know, the Seahawks are headed to London for the first time ever. They will face the Oakland Raiders on October 14th. We still are waiting for information about getting tickets. The Seahawks announced that we will find out today how to get tickets, what time it is, all
I'd pay
of the
$1,000 to
details.
go, and that's not nearly enough. I don't think.
And tickets are going to be even more in
They're gonna be a
demand
lot of
because
money.
there's 20,000 less
You got to
seats.
fly there. You got to stay in a hotel. But in my secret, I'd pay $1,000 for that. It's weird that it's not enough.
No, it's probably not. Maybe we don't eat.
There's your $1,000 right there that you can
There you
spend on that
go.
Seahawks ticket.
Right, add that up with the other $1,000 I'd be willing to do. If that's $2,000, I'll bet you could do it for $2,000.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Mark Gordon Company has picked up the rights to an upcoming James Patterson book. Why are we talking about this in sports?
Yeah.
It's called All American Murder, The Rise and Fall of Aaron Hernandez.
Wow. And that's going to be written by some guy calling himself James Patterson?
Yeah.
I don't know if, James Patterson, who has written 100 books, lately is putting his name with other authors.
Right.
I think this might be his book.
It's a
James
great idea.
Patterson.
I mean, it's not really, you can't even call it an original idea. Everybody went, oh my God, what a movie that'll make. And then
Right.
I think it's already in production, movies.
Now, the book will be published on January 22nd. When is that? Just 4 days away. It's technically called this. All American Murder, The Rise and Fall of Aaron Hernandez, the superstar whose life ended on Murderer's Row.
Wow. Sounds like the entire book.
Yep. Now, we know what happened with the terrible life of Aaron Hernandez, who became a murderer and then killed himself on death row.
Spoiler alert.
They have said now, already, this book's not out yet, they are going to make this into something for the small screen. And it's being done by the producer who did Saving Private Ryan, Speed, and Murder on the Orient Express.
Wow.
So somebody with a whole lot of background picking up the movie rights.
Did Murder on the Orient Express, the new version that I really want to see, did that do any business?
$3.
$3. That's right. And everybody's in it.
Yeah.
Katie Couric is headed back to NBC to host the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics, which start February 9th. Tonight, the UW Huskies face the Utah Utes for basketball starting at 7. The Cougs facing Colorado at 5. And if you missed it earlier, want to remind you, major concert announcement coming to the Gorge, June 29th, The Dead and Company, and all day tomorrow. We have got your tickets before you can buy them. Why?
Why?
Because we're awesome.
Oh, yeah. And it's Free Concert Friday.
Free Concert Friday.
You know who's a big deadhead?
I do know who's a big deadhead. I'm assuming you're talking about my svelte and sexy friend, Steve Slayton.
You had to take it somewhere weird, didn't you?
No, it's not weird.
And
I just myself every day.
Also, I just found out, this just came in,
What?
that we have another major concert announcement to make tomorrow morning. Another big show
top of-
everyone's going to want to hear about.
Because I got it right here. I
Tons
got
of tickets to give away.
tomorrow
Yeah.
to Steely Dan and
Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers, Blue
720.
Oyster Cult.
$750.
And then what's next after that?
A Free Concert Friday
And on
all day
top-
long, including tickets that we will have on this show tomorrow for Dead and Company.
When's
on
our big
top of
concert
that-
I
announcement?
don't know the time, but it's a big show that everyone's going to want to hear about. So listen to our show tomorrow morning.
Let's see if I can't hasten getting to tomorrow morning. So Steve Slayton's going to come in and play some classic rock for you because that's just what he does. We'll get out of his way. Bye.
This traffic report is brought to you by Muckleshoot Bingo. On Highway 99 southbound on the Alaskan Way Viaduct at Columbia Street, we have a disabled vehicle currently blocking the right lane, causing some stop-and-go traffic. And near Shelton on Highway 101 northbound at Lynch Road, we have a vehicle fire that is currently blocking the right lane. Muckleshoot Bingo is the destination for Machingo and 5 for 5 Mondays. That's right, on Monday, bingo sessions are just $5 with payouts up to $500. Plus, play 500 of the machine slot players love. 5 for 5 Mondays at Muckleshoot Bingo, the destination for Machingo. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.